The Joe Rogan Experience.
I never knew how to start. I don't hear anything, Brian.
You don't hear anything?
I don't hear myself at all.
Hello?
Do we have technical issues?
I don't hear myself either.
Yeah.
I hear you guys.
Yeah, we hear you, dude. We hear you, but we don't hear ourselves. You just did something. You're turning it up.
Hello?
What'd you just do?
Your volume's just down.
Oh,
Mine too?
Why look at that first? That doesn't even make
Well,
sense.
because no one usually plays with that, right?
Dude, the cats get in here and start whacking shit around.
Yeah.
Tell me when it's good.
They don't like it when we kick them out.
I can't hear me at all. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You're probably using the wrong headphones. Is there another pair?
Wait a minute. Talk into that, man. Talk to that.
Can you hear me right now?
Not very well.
Try it again.
Right now? Right now? Hello?
Yeah.
I can't really hear. Oh, I can hear me a little bit.
Which one's there? Right here?
Yeah.
All right, now try.
Yeah, now I hear me.
Okay.
Oh, my
We had
voice
an
sounds
extra.
sexy.
I think we were supposed to be on this one. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. But I got a new desk, and I'm very excited. But I'm also very excited. Bert Kreischer's in the motherfucking house, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Bert Kreischer.
Am I the first real fan of the show to come on the show?
For shizzle.
I don't know, sort of. No, you know.
Because I listen to every single one.
Oh well, thanks, man. That's awesome.
It's the best way. Anyone I saw on a chat board, someone's like, "It should only be an hour." I could use them for 4 hours.
Well, some people like it if it's only an hour, but then just listen to an hour of it. Shut it off.
I like the long. I'm flying to Miami. I'm gonna pass out in the middle and have to rewind and figure out how the fuck a monkey can hold. How does everyone on this show so fucking smart? I never thought Ralphie was that smart. Like just hanging out with him.
Yeah,
and then
Ralphie's.
You realize,
if you're gonna put out that much material, I mean, Ralphie May's got hours and hours of shit. You know, a guy like that, you got to be intelligent. You got to be intelligent to be a comic.
Yeah, but some people are smart as shit.
What is going on with the sound, Brian?
I
think
don't
it's
know.
echoing. It's really loud.
Hello? Hello?
Do I need to be closer?
I don't know.
Like this?
This is all very different than
It's
yesterday.
Bert Kreischer. He's a fucking robot.
Yeah.
His voice doesn't work like normal human voices. We good now?
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe we're stoned.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the case. It's the vaporizer gives you a different high.
A little different, a little more
I've been
intense.
going vaporizer lately, ladies and gentlemen, cutting out the middleman, going straight to the THC. The conversations we have, that's one of the most fun things about it. I mean, we always had these conversations, like especially Duncan and I. We would have hours and hours of super baked conversation, and Brian Callen too.
I fell in love with Duncan and saw him on a plane and went back to where he was sitting and could not stop talking to him about getting back into weed.
Oh, really?
I'm really trying to get back into weed. It's just, I don't.
Sounds like you're trying to take yoga.
My wife and my sisters had an intervention and they were like, listen, you're drinking way too much.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And they're like, we got you a bag of Afghani Kush. Like, start there.
Right.
And then I did, and I got rookie baked. Like,
that happened to me once. I got really scared once because I'd gotten upset at myself for like making fun of Steven Seagal. And I was like, this is how high I was. I was so high. I called Eddie Bravo. Okay, I was super baked paranoid. And I'm like, what am I going to fight Steven Seagal if I see him? Like, I don't even really care about him. Like, why am I being so mean when I'm making fun of him? Because I was making fun of him just relentlessly and brutally. And then I thought about it while I was super baked. I was like, what if I met that guy? Two things. First of all, I'd probably be nice to him, which is like the most hypocritical shit ever.
of course.
And second of all, I would probably feel terrible for like being so mean and making bad jokes.
Fleshlight.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
let me see
sponsored
this.
by
Let me
the
see this
Fleshlight.
bitch so bad.
This is the alien one.
This is, and you haven't come in this,
No,
right?
no one has. No one has. We
'Cause
don't
I know
allow
that that's a joke you like to play on Friends.
Yes.
See if it
That's
tastes good.
Brian. He doesn't
Taste it.
run these fleshlights.
Oh my God.
These are in my possession.
That
is
It's pretty awesome.
ridiculous.
It's really good for shooting loads into.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And if you go to joerogan.net and you click the link, you put in Rogan, you get 15% off the podcast or off the fleshlight.
Here's how you clean it. Have you seen this part?
No.
Unscrew the bottom.
And just dump it out.
No, you unscrew the top and put the faucet on the top.
Yeah.
So it just shoots it right through.
Yeah.
That's it.
I might leave it in.
Just leave the loads in there.
Pretend I'm
for
in
men?
Vietnam.
Wow.
Having like a real moment with my fleshlight. Have a conversation with her. Long day. Really long.
Speaking of Vietnam, I saw a really interesting documentary, or a piece rather. It was a very short clip about, they were talking about how marijuana, it was changed war, and how Vietnam was the first war where the soldiers were smoking marijuana and they became reluctant to fight. And it was all about the mentality of the soldiers just completely changed when they were in Southeast Asia. And they were smoking weed, and they could smell the Viet Cong smoking weed, like, over the hill. Like, they were, like, close enough to each other to smell each other's weed.
Shut up.
Yeah, and one guy was talking about how there was one time where he was high, and he had seen this Vietnamese, this Viet Cong soldier, and he knew that that guy was high, too. It's like they looked at each other, and they knew they were high.
Just started.
And they knew they didn't even know each other, and they're going to shoot each other because, you know, some fucking people in an office somewhere say that this is how it's supposed to go down.
But those Vietnam guys were the first generation to hear stories about war.
Yeah.
Like, because their dads came back. My grandfather came back from World War II, and was fucked up. Like, and they didn't know that you could fix it. They just thought, well, that's what happened to my life. I was 18 and it just switched, and now I'll drink beer in the garage by myself.
Well, they don't know what to fix it with. Even though what they're doing now, they're really taking the long way around. What they really should be doing is giving these soldiers, the ones, you know, that want to do something about post-traumatic stress disorder. I mean, you shouldn't impose it on them, but giving them ibogaine. Ibogaine and ayahuasca are two of the most potent psychedelic mixtures, and they're responsible for so many different people getting off of heroin, getting over past. Yes, it's like conversations with God.
That seems like
man.
that would be like the worst thing possible to give somebody
never
that's
had
not
that,
in
though.
touch with reality, you know?
No. What it does is it lets them know what really happened. It lets them see it from an emotional perspective, why there's this big, gigantic hole in them that freaks out whenever they think about the past, and freaks out and relives all these moments. And you can go over it with especially with ibogaine. I've heard so many different stories about, and also with MDMA. You know, MDMA, which is ecstasy. They
I would
first
love to do
used
some
it.
therapy with that.
That was the
That was
idea.
the funnest drug when you didn't know it would fuck you up.
Yeah, well, it does fuck you up though. That's why I won't do it. I did it once, and that was it for me. But I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot about like insecurities, but anyway, the point is about soldiers, like, you know, and people that are addicted. There's people that have like problems with heroin, problems with alcohol. They can fix all that shit with ibogaine.
Geraldo, right? I said like when in one of his lowest points, took a bunch of acid because he said that he heard that would fix his problems. And he said it didn't.
Well, acid's not known for that. I mean, acid. Well, it is kind of self-observing,
right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think acid also just freaks people out so much. Like when it wears you off, it's like so. Someone described it as abrasively introspective. That it just like so freaks you out that it might be too much for someone who has like an addiction. You know?
Mushrooms, I think, are a little.
Mushrooms are good. Anything that's enlightening, anything that allows you to step back and look at it. But it has to also jive with your biochemistry. You can say everything enlightening, but what if you're that one weirdo that's allergic to peanuts and, you know, you can't even drink Diet Coke or you get splitting headaches?
Are there people that are allergic to weed, like physically?
Sure, there must be. There's people that are allergic to everything, I would think.
A lot of like people that have like smoking allergies in general, you know,
Yeah, but if that's the case, are they allergic to it if they eat it? Or what about vaporizing?
Well, vaporizing still has smoke in it. I don't care what people say. Yeah, but
it doesn't get hot enough to smoke. That's the whole deal.
But you still cough from it.
I don't cough from it.
You coughed yesterday. You coughed yesterday from it because I remember going, "You're gonna be really fucked now."
No, I think so, Brian. I think you're attaching that moment, that memory, to some other time. I didn't really.
Dimitri Martin's allergic to alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, and peanuts. Like if you throw, I shouldn't say this.
You could be really mean and throw something else in there.
If you throw.
It's allergic to pussy. You know, you say something stupid there. I don't even know the dude. There was an opening right there.
He's a regular.
Is he?
Yeah.
And he is allergic to alcohol. So what happens when he drinks
peanuts?
He
breaks out. If you throw a peanut on his face will swell up.
Wow, that's crazy.
Talk about fucking being helpless on stage.
Peanuts,
Someone doesn't
man.
like your show and just flicks a peanut at you.
Does he know?
He knows.
I mean, people know.
I just fucked him up.
Fucked him up, man. People are gonna be throwing peanuts at him.
That shit's kind of fucked up because I've worked in so many kitchens before where like easily there could be peanut in something and then just be a dumb waitress that didn't know, or you're making a salad and a peanut flies into something. You know, it just seems like that's just
Thai
crazy.
Food, like pad Thai, the peanut sauce and shit.
Yeah.
Lady in front of me was allergic to shellfish on the flight yesterday, coming back from DC, and they gave her shrimp. and put it in front of her, and she flipped out. She was like, "I can't have it around me. I can't. I can't even be around it." Like, and I was like, "Oh, if we have to land this fucking pain because this chick can't eat shellfish."
Whoa, she was freaking that.
She was freaking out pretty bad. People do though, because that's their. Think about that. That's your windpipe.
Yeah.
Like I'm allergic to gerbils, right?
Right, and people wouldn't recognize it enough.
Fucking bad.
Gerbils?
Your ass swell up and stuff?
No, my kids got, at her school, they got a gerbil. And so my wife was playing with the gerbil one morning and then washed her hands, got in the car, grabbed the steering wheel. I went to take my sister to the airport, grabbed the steering wheel. My eyes shut. This part, this part of your eye, that lining part, swole up over my eyes. Oh my God. I started, water's coming out of my eyes and it's burning lines down my face. My windpipe closes up and I'm just like... But I don't know what's happening at the time because I'm like, I just fucking sat in a car.
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh shit, this is a stroke. Something's going down. I call my wife. And then I start thinking, did she fucking play with the gerbil? I just asked out of the blue. She was like, but I washed my hands. And I was like, fucking.
Wow. Oh my God.
Can you believe that's
But
how
I
I
washed my hands. Nah, right you did. Fuck you did.
You
You wash your fucking hands. Trying to make up for it. Revisionist history, motherfucker.
But I washed my hands.
Oh, that's
I wanted to fucking
nonsense.
kill
That's
her.
craziness.
It sounds like something a 13-year-old would tell you.
So could you walk through like a pet store if you just didn't touch anything? Or have you ever done that just like because you're feeling dangerous on a Saturday?
Fuck no.
That is
I don't
so
even-
crazy. So anybody that has a gerbil in their hand and touched the doorknob, you could touch that and it would just jack you.
That
Oh
seems
yeah,
fucked up.
yeah. If I touch, like, I'm allergic to cats, but I live with my wife has a cat, so I live with it. So I've gotten over the allergy.
Wow, that must have been crazy in the beginning of the relationship, huh?
Fucking talk about swallowing your pride and fucking deciding my life is less important than dating this chick.
Wow.
And the doctor, we sat down with an allergist one time, and he's like, "So here's the deal: the cat cannot be in the room with him, or one night he might die." And then
Whoa.
and the cat is fucking there.
And your wife's like, but I love the cat.
She tried, but she'd hear the cat clawing under the door. Like
She wanted to let him in, let him sleep in
she's
the
known the
bed.
cat longer than me. I'm like 4 months in.
Wow.
Fuck, it was soul just destructive.
Yeah.
You got chose over a
I
cat.
might have to kill that cat.
Oh,
Damn.
dude, the cat. She called one night when we were moving apartment. She was like, "We can't find Gus." And I was like,
Oh, that's too bad.
I was like, sweet. And then I came home
Gus.
for like a day. We couldn't find this cat, right? And then my daughters are getting upset because they're like, Daddy, Gus he's hungry. I'm like, he's a fucking street cat. He can fend for himself. So then I go into our old apartment to look for him, and I hear him. He's in the fucking dryer.
Oh, no.
So you turned it on.
Part of me is like, there's a moment where you have to make the call. Do I just not say anything and just leave, like in those fucking movies where you just go, and just walk by, or do I rescue the cat and deal with my allergies? And I'm like, I can't fucking kill an animal. I can't let an animal die on my watch.
Yeah, not like that either.
Not
If
like
you're going
that,
to kill
just-
it, at least stomp on its head.
Punch it or something.
Yeah, kill it quick. Don't let it kill it.
Fuck it.
My cat, when I
Kill
was in high school, my dad accidentally threw the cat in the dryer.
Really?
Yeah, didn't know. The cat had gone to sleep in the hammock or in the hamper because there was warm clothes in the hamper. And no, that's not the story. The story was I guess he went to sleep in the dryer. Whatever. Somehow or another, the cat got in the fucking dryer by accident. And my dad heard all this thump, 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 thump. And he opened it once and looked, and the cat was out. And the cat didn't move, so he was like, well, I guess nothing's in here. And so he shut it again and again, thump, 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 thump. And after like a couple of minutes of this, man, then he opens it up and the cat comes out screeching, and one of his teeth was broken off. And my father felt so bad. He felt awful. It was just such a bad scene, you know. The cat lived, though.
That's a shitty story.
Yeah, cat lived. With
Yeah.
one fucked up tooth. He always had this one fucked up tooth that reminded you of like, no wonder this cat's crazy. You imagine one day you wake up and you're in blackness and you're falling on metal every half a second.
Yeah.
You're just getting beat over the head. Someone's just beating the fuck out of you and you're flipping through the air. What a crazy way to wake up inside a dryer. And then to survive that after minutes and minutes in that fucking dryer.
I had a buddy who passed out and fell into a pool, and that was a terrifying way to wake up.
That
but I
cat
can't
needed
imagine.
Ibogaine. That cat needs
Yeah, I was
Ibogaine.
just gonna say, why don't you heal that cat with some psychedelics?
I know. I need to heal that cat with some ecstasy. By the way, don't listen to anything I say. Don't take anything I tell you to take. Stop it. Don't listen.
Yeah.
I am just a fucking comedian. All right. I am not qualified to be diagnosing life-changing chemicals to any of you fucking freaks.
Well, a lot of those guys that come back, like my cousin, they're fucking fearless.
From the war?
You can't phase these dudes. Like,
oh, yeah, once you watch a bunch of people shoot at you and you shoot at them and kill people.
And then you got some fucking frat boy telling you he's going to fucking knock your teeth in at a bar.
Yeah.
And you watch my cousin not give a shit.
Yeah.
Literally just go, really, like he got wasted this weekend and fell down a flight of stairs and split his head open. And he was like, and all his buddies are like, he's fine. I'm like, dude, he has a head injury. He fell down fucking at the DC Improv down those stairs.
I've never been to DC Improv.
It's like a fucking slippery, icy stairs.
Wow.
And so they were like, he's fine. Don't call a fucking ambulance. Just hold, Johnny, you're gonna be fine. Johnny, you're gonna be fine. And then he starts throwing up because he has a concussion.
Oh, okay.
All over the place.
That's
and
not good.
I'm like, we're calling an ambulance. I don't give a shit. But they're fucking. You just can't fade these kids, man. That's a new generation coming back here.
Toughen it up. Yeah. Now coming back here after those experiences, hundreds of thousands of them, right?
God, stand-up's gonna change.
It's it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that you got people that are willing to do, literally anything for their country, like Pat Tillman type people who really are true heroes. And then, you look at what they get used for. You look at how chaotic. You talk to any soldier that comes back from Afghanistan, they tell you it's fucking chaos over there.
Yeah.
No one thinks you could fix that place. That place is bananas.
It's fucked.
It's fucking warlords, man.
They're like Michael Vick's dogs. Like you just gotta fucking
crazy. And another thing is they fuck boys over there like on a regular basis. It's like there's the weird culture over there where there's a lot of like men who take in like little young boys. Like they fuck them like on a regular basis. It's like a natural part of their culture. It's so common and so prevalent. Like everything over there is so alien to us. There's like one city in the whole country and the rest of the country is just like warlords. It's like you can't control it. There's like 100 different fucking dudes with 100 different, harems, and they're rocking one part of the country and holding it down. And the best way they get information from these dudes, the way they communicate with these dudes, they give them Viagra. That's what the American soldiers do. Viagra, because they can't fuck their wives anymore, so it's hard to hold this harem. It's hard to be a warlord when your dick doesn't work anymore. So they're giving them Viagra, and now these like 60-year-old dudes who were just trying to, hang on and keep the young bucks at bay, now they can bone again, so they can get some credibility. You can't have 18 hot young wives and not fuck any of them. Someone's going to fuck one of those bitches, It's going to happen. You're going to have to shoot some young males or something. You're going to have to prove your dominance.
Wouldn't you, if you had gotten fucked in the ass as a child, wouldn't you say, I mean, this is the way I am. I'd be like, well, I didn't enjoy that, so I'm not going to do it to somebody else.
Well, that's a rational, logical way of thinking it, but apparently what happens to some people's minds when something traumatic happens to them is their mind gets rewired in a very, very unhealthy way. And somehow or another, when people are molested, they have, some folks have an urge to do the exact same thing that happened to them to someone else. Almost like they're reliving their pain and their tragedy and reintroducing it to another person to try to understand it or something. I mean, it's like it becomes an addiction to them. It becomes very, very sick. Like,
I heard of women sometimes that get raped, date raped, try to fuck the same guy over again to try to like make sure it was okay. Wow. And then a lot of times those guys don't want to be in that situation again because they know they did the bad thing. Right. So then they veer away from it, and then that fucking ruins the woman that got date raped.
Oh, God.
That's horrible. Man, I hate psychological shit. The way your brain tries to fix things is insane.
It is insane.
I think that's why
That's why bullying is so dangerous. When you hear about kids at school getting stuffed into lockers and all this, and then wind up committing suicide. And some kid recently, this story was so crazy. I don't know the full details of it. It was something someone told me, but some 14-year-old kid. There was a bunch of kids that were out on some little event. This kid climbs to the top of 10 stories, breaks a window, and jumps out in front of everybody. So they're all on some fucking vacation or some school trip or some shit. This kid smashes a window and just skydives into the pavement in front of the whole class.
Shit.
Yeah.
Were you bullied at all?
Yeah, I was bullied. Yeah, that's how I got into martial arts.
Really?
Yeah, I think almost every comedian is bullied. But me, I moved. First of all, I was little. I wasn't a big guy, and I moved around a lot. When my family was 7, we moved from New Jersey to Florida, or New Jersey to California, and then California to Florida. So it's like I never really like stayed long enough to make like good friends. I would like live in one place, and even in California, we lived in one street. And the next year, we lived halfway across town, and then in Florida, we moved a couple of times. It's like, man, I just never really had a chance to make like long-lasting friends.
I went to an all-boys Catholic high school.
Oh, Jesus.
That was just torture.
Oh.
I mean, and then I was like the funny guy to my friends. So the older dudes would just fuck you up. And it wasn't even like bullying, it was just beating you up.
Wow.
It was just like you knew. Yeah. I got beaten up one time. this guy on the baseball team, Freddie Rosella. I'll say his name. I don't give a shit.
Fuck that dude.
He's still a beast. He was a beast when we were all fucking like children. He had like ball hair. Like he was a monster.
Damn.
And he's
That's a little kid with a beard.
dude. The guy was shaving in like 8th grade. I mean,
Whoa.
he was a monster, and his arms were huge. And he was the captain of our baseball team. And I was like junior, sophomore. And I was making a joke, and he said, "Kreischer, shut your face." So I went as a joke, and then he did not get that. And then he went to go fight me, and then I was like, but then they broke it up.
Wow.
So then we get done. He goes into the dugout, and I'm playing catch with my buddies Joe and Troy and Dean and warming up. And we see him walking out, and we're walking in. They're like, "Oh, Freddie gets upset sometimes, but he's just come to apologize. You look, he's got a bat. He's probably heading off to the batting practice, and he's just going to say he's sorry." So I was like, "Okay, don't worry, I got this one." So I have a glove in hand, ball in the other hand. I'm like, "Hey, Freddie," and then he just with the baseball bat just starts beating the shit out of me. And like my three friends got on, and they couldn't pull this guy off of me. And I have a ball. I never let go of the ball, and I'm just like, ah. And then and then of course I just go to crying because I'm like, I was still like a young boy. And then he beat me up, and then the coach was in there and then we both played left field together. So I had to go out and sit in left field with him after that.
Whoa.
But those things, like, that's why I think women.
So how do you get past that moment and when run by him again when this guy beat the shit out of you?
He came to see me at the Tampa Improv.
Whoa.
Recently.
Are you serious?
And me and him probably never talked about it. We were cool after that. Like, I mean, we were like, we played on the same team for a year after that. But he came to Tampa Improv. He's like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And but I'm still like gun shy.
Right.
Cowhead, the guy in Tampa radio show?
Okay, yeah.
Cowhead, I used to tell a story about getting in a fight with a black guy. That was I did it on my hour special, and it's a real story. It's a true story about getting the shit kicked out of me by a black guy. Cowhead looked him up and found the dude, and was like, "I'm bringing him in studio."
Oh my God.
I was like, "Please don't fucking do that." I was praying the guy was dead, and his daughter listens to the show or whatever. I was like, "Fuck," because I've been telling jokes about this guy on stage for the past 8 years.
There was this one dude that I went to high school
That's
with.
awesome.
I don't even remember his name. I think it was Kevin. He was this black kid that was way bigger than everybody else. He was like this football player. I didn't really know him very well. I knew his brother. His brother was a nice guy. But he was like a scary dude to me. Just looked like a Mike Tyson looking dude.
Yeah.
And, I remember, like, no one ever fucked with this kid, and everybody was always nervous. But there was something about him where I'd be like, man, this guy just seems like too dangerous. Like, there's something about him, like, that makes me fucking nervous. Like, someone could be that much bigger than you when you're 16 years old. That much big. Turns out he wound up murdering somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we had one kid in our neighborhood. Definitely won't say this guy's fucking name. The one kid you knew was weird, but you didn't know like how to everyone would be like, "Who wants to go ride bikes?" And he's like, "Who dares me to go in the woods and put a stick in my ass?" Like that kind of kid.
Right.
Just crazy. One night he had the keys to this chick that lived in our neighborhood. He had the keys to her house because his parents were watching their house, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go in her house and get weird?" And I was like, "They're not here." He's like, "I know, come on, I'll be fucking crazy. I go in there and I cut the pussies out of their underwear." And I was like, "Ugh." So my sister calls me like 6 months ago. She's like, "You remember John?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "He's in jail." I go, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, he was working for Circuit City when they were going out of business, and he stole one of their trucks filled with a bunch of equipment." And I was like, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah." And they arrested him, and then they fingerprinted him and found out he had been killing chicks down by the causeway.
Wow.
I was like, if you fucking said serial killer to me, I would have been like, if I was the guy next door, I'd be like, "I fucking knew it. I knew it.
Whoa.
I saw that coming."
Holy shit. How many girls did he kill?
I have no idea, but I was like, and I've looked for it online. I can't find it online.
It's so hard when you run into someone who's completely fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what, there's no way to fix that guy. When you're
None.
15, 16 years old or whatever, and you're all of a sudden you're going to high school and you're hanging out with this kid who you know is completely insane.
Yeah, and it's a
What
small
the
neighborhood,
fuck?
like 8 boys. That's it.
Oh my God.
And we spent the night at this kid's house, and like just
Fuck.
And I'm like,
Holy shit.
but man,
I wonder when he started.
You gotta be. It starts young. I remember him shooting a frog with a BB gun, and I remember him asking me to do it, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't kill an animal. I just couldn't. In my head, at that age. But he was like, "It's fun. It's easy. It's easy. They don't move." But I think you have to start. It's got to start in college.
I wonder what it is, because some people like Jeffrey Dahmer, they say there's nothing wrong with his upbringing. You know, some people were abused when they were younger. Some people have some, you know, various reasons for why they're so fucking crazy and psychotic. But with Dahmer was one of those weird ones where they like, there's nothing was wrong with his childhood.
But what parent's going to be like, yeah, I did that.
Right.
Right.
Of course.
No, Dahmer's parents are going to be like,
Yeah.
I fucking didn't know you're not supposed to finger their assholes.
Right. Every day.
Shit.
Every day.
By the way,
all day
speaking of
long.
figure their asshole, I saw a clip online of your show where you went to the Gracie Academy in Torrance, and you were talking about defense, and you said, "Oh, I'll just grab their balls and finger their asshole," and Horian just stone faced you, and the way you held it, dude, was so funny. I was laughing out loud. You held it, just staring at him for like fucking 10 seconds, man. Where there was like no one said anything, and then it's like, "Okay, let's go learn some techniques, some arm locks and some joint locks and some jokes."
Dude, I got choked out that day.
I saw it.
That is it fucked me up for like a week because you know what it's like to die. You know what
Yeah.
it's like to be totally helpless and your windpipe to close and your blood to stop, and you fight it just like you see in the movies where you go no.
Yeah. It's
and then you
very
just go-
helpless. Very helpless, especially with the gi on, man. When guys get collar chokes on you.
That's
and
what he
shit.
did. He gave me like the collar
Fuck,
thing.
man. Very hard to defend those.
And that's
Very
why I stopped
hard.
fucking with dudes, because I realize now everyone's a badass. Everyone is. I almost got in a fight. Recently.
Really?
outside- yeah, because I just was like my
We
brain
drunk?
is no sober. It was in the morning. I was going to shoot something for Comedy Central, and I needed a bathing suit. So my sisters live on an apartment building below Starbucks. So I like fly in, and I kind of block 2 spaces, and they're just gonna throw my bathing suit to me. So they throw it, and then as I pull out, I realize I blocked it, and this guy's pissed. So he's really pissed. As I pull out, he zooms in, gets out of his car, and starts yelling at me. Now I've been in a lot of fist fights, so I do come from that kind of like mentality of like talk shit, and that's my mentality at the time. So I said
Talk shit and let's fight.
I'll fight. I mean,
Right?
yeah, like I
Really?
don't-
You just ready to fight some dude?
no, not now.
How long ago was this?
This was like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So-
You're a different guy now.
Very this moment, and then the moment happened the next day. So then he yells at me, and I roll down my window, and I yelled at him. I go, I was just trying to get my bathing suit. Like that's gonna
Right.
fucking like he's gonna go, oh, I didn't know. Go ahead. But I was like, that was my defense. I'm just getting my fucking bathing suit. I wasn't being a dick. And then he goes, fuck you, learn how to drive. And so I get out of the car, and then I stand up, and I come out here. I stand out of the car, and I go, come out here and be a man. Prove you're a fucking man.
Oh no, you
Why
didn't.
would you do that?
Oh my god, you're crazy.
At a fucking Starbucks. Now everyone's like,
Did you know how to fight at all?
no, but I know. Yeah, I know how to.
And this was L.A., right?
This is L.A.
You wait a minute. Do you have martial arts training?
None whatsoever.
You don't know how to box? You never wrestled?
Never boxed, never wrestled.
No sparring?
Just fist fights in college. And
God damn, dude, what are you doing? You crazy?
exactly. And it was at that moment that I realized if he walked out, I would have to fist fight.
Right. What if he's good?
Oh, chances
What do
are he
you
is.
do? What do you do if you get out there and you start talking shit to a dude, and the dude just holds his hands up real natural and starts bouncing around on his toes?
I get my car and drive away.
Or he just pulls out a gun and shoots you.
Yeah,
This is L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
It's
too.
that moment that
He
you
might
need.
beat your ass first.
Yeah.
You need that one moment where you go, all right, that's never going to happen again.
Yeah. Why have unnecessary conflict? You know, that's an unnecessary moment. That's like just management right there. That's management of stress and emotions.
Yes.
Because really, you don't even know this guy. If that was you, what if you had done this and the guy who you cut off was like your best friend? And, you know, you cut him off and you're like, fuck, I can't believe I cut Mike off. You know, Mike's my best friend.
Yeah.
You know, your interaction with this guy is all based on, you know, this conflict that you're having.
But those
If you
thoughts
treated
don't go through your mind.
I know. But if you can rewire your brain to try to think like that.
Was he driving a Prius?
No, he was driving a teal
Prius is
BMW.
a douchebag.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might have done
Except
it
for
if I
Brian
saw
Cow.
a Prius. You know?
He had a teal BMW.
I told you I'm on an eight count, 8 so far. I've seen 8 Priuses flick cigarettes out their windows.
Yeah.
8.
That's crazy.
It's amazing. I started noticing it in San Francisco. I'm like, why do I keep seeing these eco cunts throwing cigarettes out their window? They have some weird justification.
Well, you could also think that you could just own a Prius because you want to save money on
'Cause you're
gas. You don't
cheap,
give a
yeah.
shit about fucking
Yeah.
world
I swear to
peace.
God, I unplugged this fucking cunty phone.
It's funny now. That's what
It's
I.
not funny, dude.
What?
Call from what?
Planned Parenthood, Joe.
Planned Parenthood.
Adolf.
John Mendoza, it sounds like. How do you hear Planned Parenthood?
I'm always thinking Planned Parenthood. You know.
If anybody should, you.
Yeah,
You should.
Great place to pick up chicks. It's the subway right underneath the Planned Parenthood Get a bunch of sad
So
girls.
what were we talking about before we got cut off? Yeah, don't go and get in fights,
I'm not.
man.
No,
I mean, it's like a total hippie thing to say, well, look at that guy as if he's your brother and treat him as such. But, you know, a lot of shit can be avoided just with, like, cool talking to people. Shit that could just turn your whole life into ugliness.
Oh, dude, I knew a guy in college that punched a dude one time and killed him. He fell back on a thing. And
Kevin James went to, he was a bouncer for a while, and he was a bouncer with this dude, and a fight broke out between some drunks. Something happened. Bouncer punched this kid. The kid fell unconscious and banged his head off the curb and died. The bouncer was a fucking college kid just trying to make some money. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's in jail for like years. You know, it's like some serious shit. He got charged with manslaughter.
I think that's a lot of the reason why I wear hats and sunglasses so much, and I always look at the ground. I'm never, because especially out here, I don't care. I don't need to talk to anybody. If I want to talk to somebody, I'll go to you. You know, type of attitude. Like people. It's funny when you see those people that hand out things on the streets. You know, like flyers, or people like trying to get you to sign things when you walk into the grocery store. You see that I watch them like go, hey, to every person, and I get up and they don't say a word to me. They like, because I purposely sent out a vibe to be like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, I'm not happy when they get me in the parking lot of the supermarket when I'm trying to put my groceries into the truck.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? This guy comes up to me with his one finger up in the air, okay, holding it up in the air like above his head, and he points it at me and he goes, "Do you have 1 minute for gay rights?
No.
Do you have 1 minute for gay rights?"
Unless we're talking about lesbo rights.
And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to my fucking car. Get out of here. This is nonsense. No, and I have 1 minute for you. This ain't about gay rights, man. You're not going to fix gay rights by me giving you $1 or by me giving you my fucking email address. That's not going to fix gay rights. What's going to fix gay rights is voting and people learning how to be nice to each other and not being prejudiced. Not some fucking weirdo who accosts you in a parking lot with a finger in your face. Do you have 1 minute for gay rights? He was just so pronouncedly offensively gay.
Yeah.
You know, with his finger in my face.
Gay guys,
come on, man.
Gay guys have just fucking hate me.
Why?
I don't know. They see me and I think they just look at me and they're like, fucking that guy was a nightmare in high school.
Think you're homophobic?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'm the furthest thing from homophobic.
I think you look like a decent bear, you know?
I do.
A decent bear. Bears, for the folks at home that are innocent, is what a hairy, overweight gay man is. A bear. That's what they call them. So.
And now a bunch of people are looking at this going, oh, that is
Do you
right.
have chest hair? Do you have chest hair?
Yeah, a little bit.
This show got so gay right there. Both you two, you just almost kissed.
Have you ever seen a gay porn?
Yes, accidentally.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Me too. And I watched it for 45 minutes.
I've seen a bunch of shit on my website. There's always stuff. But one time I picked up this girl in Long Island and we went back to her place. And she said, there's this video that's here that was here when I moved in. I think it's porn. And I go, oh, yeah? And so she throws it in, and it's these two dudes in the woods. And one dude's got his back against a tree, and the other dude is looking at him. I'm like, why is he looking at him like that? And I'm like, I didn't know it was a gay porn. I thought it was a porn.
We're putting a lot of backstory in this.
I'm like, yeah, man, this is going to be a strange story. I never did like the story ones. I like the clips. Just cut right to the bone, and I don't need to know that you're a pizza man, okay? Yeah. So anyway, this dude pulls the guy's pants down, starts sucking his cock, and I literally started hyperventilating. I was like, what? Like, I'd never seen, mind you, you kids today, you grow up, this is the age of the internet. You see dudes sucking dick all the time.
Yeah.
I had never seen a man actually suck a dick until this moment. And I was probably 22 years old, somewhere around then, 22, 23. So this guy starts sucking this guy's cock. And I was like, wow, they really do it. That's what I thought in my head. Like, I knew that's what gay was. Like, I lived in San Francisco for 3 years when I was younger. My aunt, I told the story before, but my aunt used to get high with these gay guys that lived next door, and they used to smoke pot and get naked together. And like one guy would play the bongos, and they were really weird. And it was like this big muscular black guy and his white little bitch boyfriend, and my aunt would go over and smoke pot. So I grew up with gay people. It didn't bother me. I didn't know, but watching the guy actually suck the cock, I'm like, whoa, you can't take that back. Dude, I'm like, you are sucking a cock on video. I can't believe they could get people to do it. I couldn't believe that they could get people to do it. Like, even if you were gay, you want people to know that much. You want people to see the gay stuff.
I used to have a joke about you're gonna hate this, but
why would I hate it?
Because I used to say I looked at the audience and say, who's seen a gay porn? And no one. I said, who's seen the UFC? And then everyone. I go, here's my pitch. Mix the two genres, right? fights where the winner gets to fuck the loser in the ass. I'm not saying anyone would watch the entire fight, but how hard would you fight if your asshole was on the line?
You would fight hard as shit.
No tap outs.
Yeah.
No tap outs. Just the best part that I thought would be after the guy is unconscious, watching Brock Lesnar try to get hard in the thing. Like, I just don't want to get hard before I can fuck him in the ass. Come on.
So what if that? Yeah. What if he takes him down to rape him and the guy's out? He can't get it up.
Can't get it up, and he's just sitting there, and then the guy starts coming to, and he's got to start beating him up again.
No contest. What is that?
Maybe
he didn't win by tap.
Yeah.
He didn't tap that ass.
But yeah. You'd always get like.
Why would I hate that though? That's hilarious.
I don't know. I just thought like UFC guys
Because it
like
brings up the whole when it's so gay with two guys rubbing dicks.
Well, guys like you like to think it's gay. That
No,
way you
actually,
don't have to ever
you know
get
what?
good at it.
I might have thought that when I first, thought of it the first time ever, but now, I don't think of it. But it's funny every time I go to like open mics and stuff like that. That whenever they talk about UFC, that comes up.
Well, sure, that's like Asian drivers or black guys don't tip.
Yeah,
it's all right there.
it's a hot topic.
It's the easiest conclusion to draw.
Yeah.
What do you see these guys in their underwear? Hey, looking gay.
They stopped wearing the tight ones.
Some guys wear the tight ones.
Yeah,
that's how I
George
fucking
St. Pierre
fight.
will still rock the tights.
Yeah.
Was packaged there. You know what I'm saying? He's just smuggling it.
Now, would you ever fight in UFC?
No, I would not.
Never.
I don't think you should ever dabble in fighting. I think fighting is a very, very, very dangerous thing, and you should be obsessed with it, and it should be your sole focus. You shouldn't be, a stand-up comedian /
UFC fighter.
author / podiatrist / UFC fighter.
No, when was the last fist fight you got in? Like a provoked street fist
Not
fight?
since I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Now,
By the time I was in high school, I was already a martial arts champion. See, I was so scared of getting bullied and kids fucking with me that I just became obsessed with martial arts.
Yeah.
And so when I was, 16, I was already winning all these big tournaments. When I was 17, I was the Massachusetts State Championship. I was fighting in the men's divisions when I was a kid, when I was like 15 and 16. So most of the kids that I knew at the time, they all knew that I was doing that. So,
but I would
people just
assume
left me alone. But I was still terrified. I was still scared. Even when I was fighting in tournaments, I was afraid of bullies and getting my ass kicked. I didn't totally believe that I could kick someone's ass.
Really?
Even when I was knocking out grown men in sparring and then having fucking wars in the gym, I would still run into bullies and kids that I knew that were like bullies, and I'd be scared of them. I didn't want them to fuck with me. I wanted to make sure I can get away from them. Let me just go around the outside. Like even when I was winning fights against trained fighters, I was still. It's like it fucks with your head.
Me and my friends that we all got bullied by the same bullies, but we were all like the artist kids, what we would always do is like draw pictures of them like with cocks in their mouth and stuff like that, and just like put them around like the bathrooms and like the girls' bathrooms. We'd throw them in the we'd just turn around the corner and just toss a bunch of drawings in there, like say like
Did you copy them or did you just rake the same drawing over?
No, we
and over
copied them and then
like with a copy machine.
Yeah, but we would make it like kind of like currency. And they knew we were the artists.
Brian, your mic is so much louder than everybody's mic.
We
It's
knew.
the same thing. The same thing as yesterday. Is there a setting or something?
I'm so much lower on this board. If you come look at it.
Maybe your mic is better than ours.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
But but anyway, so we would draw a bunch of different ones. So there was like all these kind of like $5 bill, $10 bill, $20 bills,
Shut
of
up.
different kind of
Currency of bullies
currencies of bullies with dicks and cocks and stuff like that.
hilarious.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I just pitched the
Scary
Travel
thing.
Channel. They were trying to think of ways to promote my new show, and I thought I had the most genius idea. I was like, what if you made like busts, a bust of me like this big, right? Just my bust, and like with my mouth open, and it fit over urinal mints, like urinal cages. So you'd put them in urinals all over the country, just me with my mouth open, so people could piss in my mouth. I was like, everyone would fucking talk about those. And like I thought it would like spread like wildfire, and they looked at me like I was out of my fucking mind.
I'm fairly confident I would never have come up with that idea.
But if you saw one in a bar, would you not bring it up?
I would never want anybody pissing in any symbolic mouth of mine because I don't want to give anybody that idea. I don't want dudes to go, yeah, and then after we piss in his mouth, let's fuck him in his mouth.
I hadn't thought it all the way through.
Let's hold him
Possibly.
down. You jerk off in his hair, and I'm gonna shit on his chest. I don't want to open up the door for anything degrading.
It wasn't flushed out, but I thought it would be like one of those like marketing geniuses.
You would want to give people something that everybody wants and needs and doesn't really have on them. Like if you want to give them lighters, or something like that with Bert the Conqueror lighters, or give them something that they're going to use, so they're going to enjoy the fact that, I got this from Bert the Conqueror, like a keychain.
Yeah.
Who uses a fucking keychain, man? That's silly. Yeah. That's just more shit to have in your pocket. Put your fucking key in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
But like, Bert the Conqueror keychains, that's not going to come up. That's not going to, but like maybe a lighter, especially people who are smokers.
I told him to print like 1,000 stickers and just send them to kids.
And then they'll get annoyed. You're gonna stick their stickers. Bert the Conqueror, cunt. He's got his fucking stickers all over my school. What is a thing though that you could use that would really help people besides like pens and shit like that? Like, what would people enjoy? Is there a piece of swag that people would actually be happy to get? Brian, you're into all that shit.
Yeah, the thing I would think of, iPhone cases.
That's not a bad move.
Because I know so many chicks that have no iPhone case. I'm like, dude, you're so fucking stupid. You're going to break this. You're going to drop it. It looks
so dope without a case.
It does look dope, but all their excuses is like, I know, I just need.
It is pretty stupid that you have to have a case too. That bothers the shit out of me, man. I think that's so dumb. I had that little rubber bumper on. I dropped it, shattered.
Really?
Yeah, that
I
little
got the
rubber
graphite
bumper.
one. It's great.
Yeah, I got a good fat rubber one now.
What about Bert the Conqueror magnetic wristbands?
Oh, those hologram bullshit
those
bands?
bullshit bands.
Those things.
Just pass them out and people are like, oh, fuck, this helps
I've seen
me out.
so many high-level fighters wearing those things, and it makes me so sad. It's like, why don't you just take a chicken head and wrap that around your neck?
It's snake
Do
oil.
some voodoo, yeah. But it works. What is that, Brian?
See, this is like a rubber iPhone case that I got the other day from some Japanese
For the folks
animation.
listening on iTunes, he's holding up some sort of a
Oh, you just got that for free?
Japanese.
No, I didn't get it for free, but I'm just saying if you
iPhone case.
feel it, this is like that is a cheap product.
Well, they cost like $30 though, dude.
Yeah, but that's
much is that 'cause they're
that's
robbing
super
you?
markup. If you go to
Really?
eBay, if you go to Amazon, you can get like a box of these
Really?
kinds of.
So how much do you think that would cost to get
This
printed
probably
out? Like $1?
Well, I think probably just the part alone. I'd probably say like not even $1.13, something like that, something cheap.
How did you come up with $1.13?
Because it seems more official.
It does, right? If you added like an extra number in there.
I bet there's a company on the internet that you could print out your own iPhone cases.
What about Bert the Conqueror's sunscreen? Like little packets of sunscreen?
That's not a bad idea, as long as you know that it doesn't like give you cancer or something. Because I've read some crazy shit about sunscreen actually contributing to cancer in some people.
Fucking great.
Yeah,
That's all I do is lather in sunscreen.
I do too, man. Fucking, I have a friend of mine who's got skin cancer right now. Had a big chunk of meat removed from his head.
Now, how did he
Really white
notice?
guy.
Was it itchy or
Here's the scary thing. He went to a dermatologist, and the dermatologist said nothing. The dermatologist said, I don't think you should worry about it. And then a year later, he went to another dermatologist, and it turns out it's skin cancer. And it was pretty deep. They had to really dig into his head to cut it out.
Wow, that's scary because I mean I have this one mole. I'm a moley motherfucker.
You moley
and
bitch.
I have this one mole on my back that always feels so weird. It's like crusty feeling sometimes. And then I went to the dermatologist and they're like, oh no, that's fine. Here, look at these pictures. See that? That's what you want to look out for, where it looks like red dots and it's like all crazy looking. I'm like, okay, but I've always thought, no, that's not right. That's
I have that checked out 10 times. I'm a massive hypochondriac.
Oh, you really?
Oh, I found a fucking ingrown hair under my arm one time, and because I just hung out with Schimmel, I was like, I got fucking non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. This is how it starts.
Oh my god!
And I fucking convinced myself. Whole flight home, went straight to the doctor, and she looked at it and she goes, "It's an ingrown hair."
Holy shit, dude!
Check this out. I had an ingrown hair in my belly button. Do you remember this?
Oh my god, I gotta see this.
This is like four or five.
Again, this show turned gay. Oh my god, I gotta see this. That would look amazing in my mouth.
If you have an ingrown toenail, anything ingrown that's pussing, I'm dying to see.
Oh yeah,
it.
really?
You haven't typed in botfly extraction?
I have seen it.
Oh, I want one so bad. Like,
What
Just
the fuck
idea,
is wrong with you?
Just the idea to pull it out. Maybe I don't want one. I want my wife to get one.
So
on
you can
vacation.
pull it out.
Oh, that looks awesome. Let me see your ingrown
Can't
hair.
those
I
things
know I
fuck
don't have it
you guys
now.
a
This
long
is like
time
4 or
ago?
5 years ago, and
You got a weird pus thing going on, son.
You don't do that. I'll fucking. If I get anything like a good pimple, oh my god,
it swelled up my belly button to the point where you couldn't even put your finger in it. And then one day it just filled up with blood and yellow stuff and
Well, you
white
got to be
stuff.
really careful about staph infections. And this is for anybody that listens to the podcast. Please, if you have any weird infection on your body that, maybe it's a spider bite, I don't know what it is, go to a fucking doctor and get that checked out because you could fucking die. Staph infections are scary shit.
Did you guys? You probably don't know the comic. His name's Roy Johnson. He's from Tampa, right? So I'm going on Facebook one day and I click on it, and the thing, his post is, doctors say it looks like I'll keep my leg. And then now I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I go to his page and I start clicking back older posts to find out like what happened. So I go back like 2 weeks later, and it starts like he's at the Dayton Funny Bone, and he's like, yeah, so I got a weird bite on my leg last night. Well, I wonder if it's a spider bite. I'm gonna get some calamine lotion. Next day, it's getting worse. The day after that, okay, this is really starting to concern me. The day after that, I'm having a hard time walking, and like you can see it getting worse and worse and worse, and then he ends up in a hospital. He's like, doctors say I'll keep my leg, and I'm like, oh fuck! It's like this guy. It's like this.
What was it?
I have no idea.
It must have been MRSA. It must have been that there's a crazy strain of staph. We talked about the antibiotics, Brian, about people not taking their antibiotics in the full dose so it doesn't kill the bacteria, and it creates things, these antibiotic resistant strains of infection. And staph is one of the scariest ones, man.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Donna D'Errico apparently has it real bad.
Who?
The Baywatch chick, Donna D'Errico.
Shut up.
Yeah, she got MRSA. She got it real bad, apparently. It was in the news. Like, she was in like really bad shape.
I always worry about that at Barry's boot camp. Like, because I don't think they clean it.
Well, this is what you got to make sure. You know, when you ever get any sort of scratch, there's a company called Defense Soap that has a bunch of different solvents or salves and all these different things, and they're all natural oils that kill any like funky infections. But any open wound, any open scratch, you got to clean that. That has to be cleaned, and you have to make sure you put something on it. You know, these ointments and salves, they're all like natural. It's all like eucalyptus oil and tea tree oil. Kills all funky shit.
Yeah.
You know, just give yourself a fighting chance. But dudes run around with like deep scratches and they don't do anything about it, and something you don't clean it and then it gets infected. Like, you could fucking lose your arm.
Yeah.
Like, that's no joke, man. I know a dude who got one in his elbow, and his elbow was fucked up. He got it in jiu-jitsu, didn't know what it was, hurt him, didn't do anything for a while, and by the time he went to a doctor, you know, he's a tough guy, this Australian dude. Yeah. By the time he went to a doctor, it's too late. He had this giant hole in his arm because his arm had swollen up to this monstrous-looking thing that's twice the size of a normal elbow.
Fuck that.
It happened to Ari Shafir, too. Ari got one on his knee, and we were playing pool, and I saw him limping around the pool table. I go, what the fuck is going on? And he goes, I got bit by a spider. And as soon as he said that to me, I said, oh, fuck. You know, I had staph once, and I was lucky that somebody pointed it out to me. I didn't know what it was. I got it really, really early. It was just a few pimples on my leg. And my friend Tate looked at it. He goes, dude, what is that on your leg? And I go, I don't know. Is it zits or something? He goes, I think you got staph, man. You got to go get that checked out. And what it is it's folliculitis. I forget how what the actual term is. But when you see like follicles that are like little infected follicles, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of a staph infection. And it could be nothing, it could go away, or it can get ugly and be nasty. And Ari's had turned into like this swollen, pussy-looking thing that looked like he had been bit by something. And it was just a rampant staph infection.
So wait, how do you get rid of it?
Well, he had to go on some serious antibiotics. And he got it again. He got staph again like a year later.
Wait, how's he getting it? Like just like
well, he
really
got it
nothing?
from jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
He got it from jiu-jitsu. And that happens in jiu-jitsu. And the way it happens is you're getting scratched and scraped and, you know, you're sparring. And when you're sparring, you're essentially, you know, going pretty much full clip on each other. And, you know, you get cuts and your knees scratch on the ground, and if you don't wash yourself, like Ari would just like fucking he would just like not take a shower at all, even that night, and he would have like 10 dudes rape sweat all over him, just leaking into various holes in his body.
Just a honeypot of disease sitting in a bed, festering, and then some poor shit gets in that same bed the next week and fucking the next town.
And bangs chicks in that bed. And by the way, Ari changes his sheets, no bullshit, once every 6 months. He went 6 months without changing his sheets.
No, I think it was even longer than that. Cause
Really?
It was like a very long time.
And he wonders why the fuck he gets staph. Yo, dude, you gotta clean your house, son.
I love that video of his asshole.
It's so
Clam?
strange.
Oh my god, it's the best.
So strange.
so
It
isn't
really
it?
defines what hemorrhoids really are. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't know what they
prolapsed
were.
anus. Your butt's popping out from the inside.
how do you do stand up with
Swollen
that
up.
in the back of your pants?
I know, man. How do you show it to everybody and not give a
I
fuck?
can't even sit on my wallet, and Ari's sitting on a golf ball.
Yeah,
I
never
think it's
sit on my
comfortable
wallet.
though. It's like swishy. It's probably like, you know, like those things you put on your in
Like
your
an
shoe.
air mattress?
No, like the Dr.
He's
Scholl's.
just gelling.
He's just gelling.
Ari's just gelling like vagina. Hey Ari, how you doing? Just gelling.
just gelling.
Oh no.
Jelly donutting.
His mind's works totally different than mine. So
Yeah.
talking to him about getting on smoking weed to get a prescription for flying, because I have a terrible fear of flying. And he's like, dude, you just gotta take one of these gel tabs. And I'm telling you, man, like him and Ralphie,
Yeah.
Two people that I just don't Hey, player, just take 2 of these.
Don't listen. Don't
Yeah,
listen.
I think they're fucking being dicks. Like they don't mean to, but like I took like half of one and was melted.
Yeah, a breast strip, one of those little things. If you get a hold of those jammies, those you take a half. Take a half.
No,
if you're an OG,
just don't eat any.
Yeah, don't eat anything if you didn't
I'm not
make it
eating
yourself,
anymore.
man.
Yeah.
It's just too hard to know the dosage.
They got to regulate that shit.
Yeah, it's not fucking like dudes that work in Intel making microchips with fucking lab coats on. It's some asshole in a tie-dyed t-shirt and a goofy ponytail, and he's throwing some shit into a bowl.
And if he's making it, he clearly has a high tolerance.
Yeah.
He's like, who am I going to make this for? Fucking
Dude,
kids?
Exactly. There's a dude that came to visit us, and he came to visit us at the John Lovitz Club, and he gave me some shit. Me and Joey, after the show, we both like just sat there, and Joey always leaves. He always leaves.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah,
You know, if I go on stage, I know that it's the second show. By the time I get off stage, Joey's gone. I got off stage. I'm saying hi. I'm saying bye to the staff. Thank you, everybody. Blah blah blah. Gathering all my shit, and I see Joey sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I ain't moving. I ain't moving, Joe Rogan. That's how high I am. You're not going anywhere either. Stay here with me, cocksucker. Stay here.
The whole time he was sitting there watching you, Joe, when you're on stage, sweating, like hand going like 1,000 miles a moment, just sweating. He would look at me and get those eyes where he's like looking at you like a.
The point being, these motherfuckers and their cookies, man, they were too strong. Ari ate. They had like these. What are those called? Biscottis. The guy told me only eat a half. Ari ate a whole one, and Joey ate 1.5 of them.
Oh no!
Yeah, Joey ate 1.5. The guy says eat a half. Joey goes, ha! I laugh in the face of danger. He just ate all of it. Yeah.
No, wait. What happens to your brain when you is getting too high like getting too drunk?
No. It's when you get really, really high, especially if you eat it, it's really psychedelic. It's really introspective. It really it brings up your past, and you start thinking about all kinds of weird shit about your childhood and things that you did. You know, that you're upset that you did to someone when you were like 7. You know, you just start really tripping out about weird shit, and it's much more. It's like a much deeper, much more like psychedelic trip than just smoking it. When you're smoking, if you get really high, you get paranoid, you get hyper aware, you start feeling really vulnerable, you start being really sensitive to shit. But when you eat it, you start hallucinating, especially when you close your eyes. When you eat it and you close your eyes, dude, for whatever reason, it's cartoons fucking. That's what I see. I see these really bizarre, alien, impossible to describe cartoons fucking. And I can never exactly see what they look like, because whatever they look like right now is not what they look like a second from now.
Yeah.
They just keep morphing and changing, and it's like some sort of these alien cartoons fucking. That's what I see every time I close my eyes when I get super baked. That's when I know if I've eaten like a pot cookie. That's when I know I'm deep in the terror zone.
Really?
Yeah, you get into that strange place of you feel like you are now in another dimension, like you've entered into an alien world. You look at the world around you, the mechanical world, like airplanes and pilots and stewardesses and cars and trolleys, and you look at all that shit and the mechanical interfacing, and all becomes like you become like super aware of it all, and it feels like an alien world. Because there's a world all around you that you've totally taken for granted that is completely bizarre. The world of you climbing into a metal box with these squishy rubber tires connected to this hard pavement that they've created and molded over the earth, and you're in this box, and while this is happening, the giant fucking nuclear explosion that lights everything up, and you're spinning around it, going 1,000,000 miles an hour through the fucking universe. It's just too much, man. And you have to compartmentalize your life. And what pot does is it doesn't let you compartmentalize. You can't say, well, I got to get the kids to school. You know, pot goes, yeah, you do, but look at what life really is.
Yeah.
Look at space. It goes on forever. Inside every galaxy, there's a black hole. Inside every black hole is another universe filled with hundreds of billions of galaxies, each with a black hole, each with another universe with hundreds of billions of galaxies. And all, the whole mass of it all just starts fucking overwhelming you. That's the problem with pot. That's why people think, like, you know, people go, oh, it makes me paranoid. You know, you should be paranoid.
Yeah.
If you were really smart, you would realize, the shit all ends. Everyone's it's gonna stop for all of us.
Are we trying to get me into an anxiety attack? Jesus Christ!
But I mean, that's something that we ignore. You know, if I think we should appreciate the moment, but we should be aware that it's temporary, you know, and to deny it and just to put it in the back, that's not helping you, because then when the pot comes on, you know, and you get super paranoid about that, what you're super paranoid about is about something you haven't really addressed in your own mind. You haven't come to grips with it.
It's a real fucking thing that one day you will find out. Is there a God? Is there a devil? Is there fucking space aliens that take you away in their crafts?
Right, or is this one step in an endless cycle of things that you can't even recognize what the next one is? It's so bizarre and alien. This is alien, man. This world that we live in, if we didn't live in this world, we were some sort of an empty, rational, objective being, you know, that was like looking at human culture, we would say this way to live is the craziest thing ever.
That's why if I ever get really rich, I'm moving to Idaho. I'm buying a mountain. I'm making a huge rock sculpture of myself with paintings of like carved into the mountain of what I did, like real outrageous stories. Because that's the only thing that's going to be left. That is,
you're gonna go like make Pharaoh Kreischer,
because that's all that's left, man.
Yeah.
That's all that's left. All the steel crumbles, but it's going to be me, Crazy Horse, and the fucking 4 presidents.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, "Who is this Bert?"
How dope is that Crazy Horse structure? They're still working on that thing.
I'll be doing that shit too.
They've
That's
been
what you
working on
should
it
do,
forever.
Joe. Let's do this, okay? I will spearhead this. I will quit comedy tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
I don't need a lot of money. All I need is like a bunch of dynamite. And I just want to be
Do you know
your
how to do
sidekick.
this?
No, we'll figure that shit out.
We can figure it out.
Lewis and Clark made it across the fucking country.
Dude, I've been watching this new show. I think it's called The Wild Within. It's a new
It's on
show
Travel
on the
Channel with
Travel
Steve
Channel.
Renna, yeah.
Dude, I watched it last night for the first time. I saw the ads and I started TiVoing it. Fuck, it's awesome, man. And he went the Lewis and Clark way through Montana. And the
Dude
river.
goes pit bull hunting for fucking boar next week.
Jesus Christ.
Like old school. Like
Yeah.
we're taking some pit bulls. We're getting a boar.
Dude, I had a dog that was trained for that shit. I had this Hawaiian pit bull that they used for wild hog hunting. He was crazy. Frank, you remember Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Frank was crazy. That was a dog. I could not stop that dog from wanting to attack other animals. He was bred to go after hogs, so he was like super, super aggressive. It was a tremendous pain in the ass.
Now, how's
to have
your
a dog
dogs
like
with
that.
the girls?
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
The dogs that I have now are very like the Johnny, the big one, the Mastiff, is very calm.
Yeah.
He was like the guy who bred him. Bred dogs for Fear Factor, and he really is conscientious about how he mixes them. He makes sure that dogs that are aggressive to people or even other dogs, they never get to breed. So he only breeds the best personalities, and he's been doing it for generation after generation. So he really is, and he's very proud of it. So his dogs have like the best temperament. Like I went over his house, and his dogs, like they're these giant things, but they're so calm and friendly, and they come over to you to check you out and assess and make sure. Okay, let me just make sure you're cool. Okay, come on in, relax.
That's what I want.
Yeah. You can get one of those. I'll hook you up.
I wanted an Argentinian Mastiff.
Those are crazy. You got to be careful of those.
And I didn't know. And
Yeah.
then I sent an email to the lady, and then she sent back a questionnaire. And
Yeah,
the
do you have kids?
First question, do you have kids? And I was like, yeah. Second question, do you plan on sleeping with the dog?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand.
You have
Sex
to bond
or
with them. You have to
Is that
bond
what
with
it
them.
is?
Yeah.
Oh. 'Cause I didn't know if you didn't want to sleep with them.
Before Mrs. Rogan moved in, I used to sleep with the dogs. I used
Really?
to sleep with 2 pit bulls in my bed. Yeah. Yeah. They love it. They love sleeping with you. They love you, man. Dogs, when you have a real relationship with dogs like that, they really are like this sort of subhuman baby that you have. It's like it's not quite human. You don't love them as much as that, but there's an affectionate, like loving bond between you and a dog.
Well, ever since you and Callan, like 2 weeks ago, last week, said like you guys were talking about how crazy is it that we're riding horses?
Yeah.
Like I started looking at animals like just sitting in my house, like
It's weird.
I got fucking dominion over that bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
well, what's weird is when they can kill you and they don't know.
Yeah.
Like when you have a pit bull or my Mastiff, he could kill me.
I've worked with chimpanzees maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
I had a chimpanzee,
an adult
chimpanzee on my shoulders with both ears in his hands.
Oh no!
For fucking Spike TV, and I was like making $13,000 an episode.
Oh my God, you're
fucking
crazy.
Possibility of my nose being bitten off.
A real good possibility.
I've worked with
Was it a
chimpanzees
male?
lot. Male chimpanzee, sitting on my neck. John Moore, one of an EP I've worked with a ton of times, has a picture of it, and he's just got both my ears in his hands. I worked with a bear that
How big was he?
He was a fucking beast.
Like how big? Like how much did he weigh?
Like he was like a 7th grader.
What does a 7th grader weigh? 100 pounds?
Yeah, 100
So
pounds.
sort of
100
an
pounds.
adolescent chip.
Yeah,
It wasn't fully grown.
Yeah. I wrestled a bear one time for that
What?
Bert show. Dude, that's the fucking scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
Did you ever see the video of that guy who is a trainer and the bear killed his brother or his cousin? I think it was his brother.
It's this. It might be the same bear I worked with.
Really?
Because I worked with the bear it was a movie bear.
Yeah.
So it was like the bear that fucking fought Will Ferrell in the movie Semi-Pro.
Really? I
Yeah.
think this is the bear we're talking about,
Yeah.
dude.
So-
That bear killed somebody.
so they
Hold on a
bring-
second. Let's find this out real quick because I think
I think his name was Bam Bam, or it's from Bam Bam's family. One of the bears that we fought that day was named Bam Bam. I know that, or I think that.
This podcast is filled with bear talk.
Semi-pro bear kills trainer. Yeah, that's the first thing that comes up. What was the bear's name?
I think is either Bam,
Rocky.
Rocky and Bam Bam were the
The
two
massive
bears.
animal who are named Rocky is being put through obedience exercises. Was being put through obedience exercises. Wow, he just decided to just bite this dude on the neck.
Where's it? Let me see a picture of where it is. That looks like where it was. Is it
So
in
that-
California?
Yes,
Yeah.
big bear.
Yeah, we had to drive out. We had to drive out.
Dude,
to
this is the bear. This bear killed somebody.
There's only like 4 bears you can work with. It's like fucking black actresses.
So you worked with this murderer bear.
Wait, that was a really good joke. We're gonna pass by.
That was pretty good. I'm sorry.
I mean, that fucking.
That's so true. I wasn't even thinking about it.
No,
I apologize.
So
I like how you claimed it though. You like stop. That was a good line. That's strong. I like that.
So you go to the.
It's like, oh, how's Al Sharpton keep getting work? What the fuck, man? You guys can't do better than that guy. That's
that guy's
ridiculous.
the safest man in America. No one's killing him.
Oh, so ridiculous.
No
man.
white supremacist is gonna kill him. They love what he does.
They don't care. He's so buffoonish.
He gets
you
up
know?
with his windows open. So
Al
so,
Sharpton walked by the Comedy Store one night and we were hammered. It was me and God, I forget. I think Ari was there. Eddie Bravo was definitely there. And he's walking by, and as he's walking by, like Al Sharpton, we all just start yelling out, "Oh, Al Sharpton's a pimp! Al Sharpton, work that motherfucker!" And everyone's yelling at like 5 different dudes. Go get yours, Al! Fuck those dummies! And and he's like kind of waving and not knowing how to respond, and we're just like letting, we know you're a crook, but go ahead, go get it.
did you hear how he got his
the Tomorrow Broadly star?
No,
story?
his relaxed hair relaxed.
No.
He used to look like fucking buckwheat.
Right.
And then Godfather of Soul, James Brown, was said, I can get you a meeting with the president and we can get we'll get in there tomorrow. I think it was like, I want to say it was Nixon or fucking Reagan or Carter. James Brown just called the office and was like, we got a meeting. I saw it in the movie Good Hair. We got a meeting. And he goes, listen, I ain't taking you to meet the president if your hair ain't relaxed. So he got his hair done just like James Brown.
No way.
It was on the movie Good Hair. Best fucking movie I've seen in the longest time. You cannot go through TSA and not guess if black women have fucking weaves. It makes you reassess black women entirely.
Oh, that's
It's
funny.
the best movie. So anyway, they on Hurt Bert, I had broken my ribs. I got mauled by a bull.
Whoa.
It's online. Just type in Hurt Bert rodeo.
And this is all
clown.
from your show?
This is Hurt Bert. This is one I did right after the X show.
It hit your
where I
side,
met you
right?
like 10 years ago. So
It stepped on your foot and it hit your side or something.
broke my ribs and broke my foot. Wow. So
Bull did this to you?
Bull didn't teach me a fucking thing on this show. They just bring me in and go, so today you're going to be a rodeo clown. I go, what do I need to know? And they just stay away from the bull and just let the bull loose, put me in the makeup.
Oh, my
And it just fucking broke. It just mauled me. And so
You're
then,
lucky you're alive, man.
dude, you have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea.
Who's responsible for this show?
Mark Cronin.
Who's the producers?
Mark Cronin, the guy who does, he did Celebrity on VH1. Like
What
the
year was
Surreal
this?
Life, 2000?
Oh, so they really weren't hip to how dangerous all this shit was.
It was done through Fox, and they were literally like, I remember them going, it's simple. We'll just pay him as a contestant, and then we'll give him the rest of his money for being a producer. So I was covered.
Because you were a contestant.
Technically, I was like a reality show contestant, so I was covered under that insurance clause, and then I was just paid like the rest, like 80% of the money as a producer and executive producer on the show.
Wow.
So that, but the idea was
You can't sue yourself because you're a producer.
Right.
Like, it's your idea.
and it's the most brilliant show that never took off. It was Jackass meets Dirty Jobs.
Do you want to see it, Joe?
I would go out and I would take dangerous jobs for a day. So I was a professional football player, MMA fighter, hockey player, dominatrix, gimp.
Did you actually have an MMA fight?
No, I just fucking fought 3 Gracies at once.
Oh, when they
just
rolled
beat me
you.
up.
That was what I watched. That
Yeah.
was, man. What is like putting your fucking body on the line like that all the time?
I was young and I just was like, and that was the theme of entertainment at the time. was that like Jackass. I had done this ass wax in like 2000 that had blown up before Jackass.
I done an ass wax.
It's the funniest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if you're listening to this,
Brazilian
just
waxing?
type in Hurt Bert ass wax, and it's longer because that's the way segments were made then. But it is the funniest thing I've ever done in my. The funniest.
Wow.
Like Cher got a hold of it and started passing it around to people, and like it got Talk Soup clip of the year.
How do I not know this?
That's the reason I'm not fucking. I literally everything I've ever done is just kind of like fallen. It happened.
How long is this clip?
It's too long.
Too long?
Yeah, the ass wax. But so then we did the bull thing. I broke my ribs, and so we had to kind of stay in the city because I couldn't really travel. And they're like,
so after you broke your ribs, they give you time off? Say, okay, heal up, and then you go right back at it?
they gave me like 2 weeks, and then
What?
Yeah, 2 weeks, and then
2 weeks off, and you have broken ribs.
2 weeks I just laid in bed, was on bed rest, didn't do anything.
Right, but you can't just go back out with broken ribs because they can fracture and become embedded in your organs. And shit.
Yeah, we didn't really think a lot of this through.
God damn, dude.
Dude, when I was a football player, we were doing helmet to helmet contact. I basically shot a porn one day when I was the dominatrix gimp. I basically shot a porn.
Really?
I mean, I was naked, and this girl was just fucking doing everything she could to my junk, like putting weights on my balls, and
whoa,
and it was
had
insane.
To do this?
It was insane. Well, it was the Wild West of reality television, because what was huge at the time is Fear Factor, right? Everyone's eating shit and jumping out of shit and like crazy, and so it was this next level stuff where you didn't know you could just host something and be charming, and people would stick around for that.
You just had to take it to the next
You
level.
had to fucking try to bring it. And you were competing with that, Dog Eat Dog, like Jackass.
Right.
So,
I forgot about Dog Eat Dog.
I mean, yeah, it was like the craziest shit. So then the opus, not the opus, but like the height of it was towards the end when they were like, hey, do you want to fight a bear? And I was like, who does that for a living? And they're like, you do on Thursday.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sure enough, man, they just took me out and fucking...
Dude, what was that like?
Terrifying because you see the bear, he's totally wild, like he's jumping up and down, and there's like a crew there, and I got in this. By this time I realized they don't give a shit about my safety because I'd already gotten fucked up by the bull. So what they're looking for is the end, is to hurt Bert to be hurt at the end. So then, I mean, it's a little bit of a bit. It's not a bit, but the story is a story. I get there and the trainer's like, this is how we'll do it. Take these, and he hands me 5 marshmallows. He goes, when the bear's not looking, take a marshmallow and put it in your mouth. And then casually walk in front of the bear and show him the marshmallow like, oh, and allow the bear the opportunity to engage you and take the marshmallow out of your mouth with his mouth. This way he'll learn to trust you. And I'm like, fuck that. Wow. Like, who needs that trust? What am I borrowing money from him?
Oh my God.
So, but you don't know any better. At the time, I'm 28 years old, maybe 29.
Oh my God.
And I did it. And then he goes, all right, we're ready.
What the fuck was that like when that bear tongued you?
I felt like you were making out with a homeless person. Like just fucking... Bear lips look like a 17-foot woman's vagina. Wow. Just going ear to ear on you. Just...
And his giant teeth and his giant head.
And just tongue right behind the marshmallow.
What is it like knowing that bear went and killed somebody after that?
I don't know. I think it's probably like the guys who missed their flight on 9/11. Like, you don't think about it. You don't go like... Because I didn't die, so I'm like...
You were the appetizer.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
But yeah, it's the... I mean, the entire experience was like... terrifying. We ended up fighting, and then they go, so look, if you're in trouble, just say marshmallow, because then that's your safe word and we'll get you out.
Marshmallow.
Yeah, and so that fucking beginning of the fight, I'm like, fucking marshmallow, marshmallow, and the bear's just throwing me around. I'm like, marshmallow, and then the bear put my face in his chest, and I couldn't breathe, and then he spun me doggy style and fucking had me in a bear hug where you're like helpless. And then I just started looking at the crew and the trainer, and I'm like, marshmallow, get me the fuck out of here, marshmallow. And the trainer's like, go limp. I'm like, please be talking to me right now and not the bear. There's a bear cock climbing up my jeans, just marshmallow. But yeah, that's technically how it went down.
So they didn't save you?
No, I went limp and slid out at the bear, and then the bear ended up sitting on my face, and then my wife, they put a marshmallow in her mouth, and the bear got off, and then they pulled me away.
Oh my God!
Is that online?
Your wife, you let your wife get kissed in the bear.
I didn't.
After he was still worked up like that.
Oh,
I would never do that.
She did it, and then I went in and tamed
crazy.
lions that day. Tamed 4 lions,
dude.
Fucking washed an elephant. I mean, literally.
Wow.
Hurt Bert was probably the greatest show no one ever saw.
God damn, dude, you're giving me anxiety. Just listen to these stories.
So why is it somebody with such anxiety? It seems like you have a lot of anxiety and stuff that do all these crazy shows, because you also do a show where you like ride the craziest roller coasters and you do all these intense things, but it seems like you wouldn't. It seems like you would be cooking shows or something.
I don't know. I don't know why I don't know how I got these jobs. Like I just got them I don't know. I don't know why they go to me. I think.
Well, how did you get the first one? How did you get Hurt Bert?
I got Hurt Bert because I did the ass wax, and then
the ass wax was for what?
The X show.
It was for the X show.
Yeah, and then
okay, now I remember the X show.
It was the funniest fucking 2 minutes of television when Joe was on, because Gary Valentine. We all went into Gary's green room, me, you, and Kevin Sussman, and Jeff Sussman, and we were talking and bullshitting, and one of the producers came in and they're like, "So here are the questions we were gonna ask Joe," and Gary's like, "Fuck that. I've known Joe forever. We're gonna be fine. We're just gonna go out there and riff." Do you remember this at all?
Sort of.
So we go out. It's me and Gary and you. And you sit down, and Gary was, I love him like a brother, but he was the worst host in the world. The worst. So he goes, "All right, welcome back. I got my buddy Joe Rogan. I've known Joe forever. How you doing, Joe?" And you're like just like, "Pretty good, Gary." And he's like, all right, yeah, okay.
He just locked up.
And then I was like, "So Joe, you are doing the MMA thing now?" And you're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Joe, you've always been into that, man. You've always been into that." And it was so uncomfortable. They made us do it again. You don't remember this at all? They made us do it again. So then they go, "Okay, Gary," and he's like, they gave him the questions, and he's like, don't worry, fucking worry. I got this. Come on, Joe. We'll just, I'll get you into one of your bits, okay? All right. Hey, we're back. I'm here with Joe Rogan. Joe, I've known Joe forever. Joe, I haven't seen you in a while. And you're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You been on the road?" And you're like, "Pretty much." He's like, "Great. And I'm fucking laughing my tits off next to Gary, and Gary's like, and then they're like, "Take it again," and then you're like, "Ask me about this, ask me about that," and Gary's like, yeah, that's where we'll go. But it ended up being
Dude,
funny.
I completely forgot about this until you just brought it up. This is like an old dusty memory.
I want to see it.
I'm in a corner of an attic right now with a broom going, "Is that what that is?"
Yeah.
Let me clean that fucking. Get a flashlight. Do you have a flashlight?
It was so
Dude, I completely. That would have been erased forever. If you gave me like a piece of paper and said, "Describe your appearance on the X show," something really crazy happened with Gary Valentine, I would have wrote, "Never went on that show. Don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you have is it that online anywhere?
No, those were the outtakes that they'll never use.
The X show was like a Maximum. It was they were trying to do like a Maxim magazine, sort of a TV show.
They were trying to do a hot, sexier man show.
Wasn't the guy from Studs? Wasn't he a part of that?
Mark DiCarlo.
Yes.
He's actually a really cool dude.
He was. Do you remember Studs?
No.
Oh,
Studs was a show that was the most ridiculous dating show like ever.
Oh yes.
And it was like the most arrogant guys and the most. It was like the one of the first looks into reality TV.
Probably.
But we didn't recognize it because it was sort of a show. I mean, it was like it's a dating show. We didn't recognize that it was reality TV.
It was Mark DiCarlo, and then he got fired. That guy Justin from like the movie with Alicia Silverstone. Do you remember Clueless?
Yeah.
He was the pretty boy.
I don't remember.
He got
that.
fired, and then John Weber got fired, and me and Gary Valentine got brought on.
Oh, that's right. You guys came in at the very end.
And that's how I met Stanhope, because it was up between me, Gary Valentine, Doug Stanhope, and some guy Scott Henry.
Wow, if you stick around in Hollywood long enough, man, you have some crazy stories. They'll just accumulate.
I remember going to the Improv one time, and Stanhope was on stage, and I don't know if he saw me or if he didn't, but he ended up doing like 15 minutes on me, like
on
just
you?
just making fun of like. But it was very.
Which show? What was it from?
The X show.
The X show.
He was just talking about a shitty show on television that they give to a younger comic because he has some heat generated behind him. And
ooh, that sounds bitter.
What it's like, but it was really funny. It was murdering. And then I was in the back, and I go, and I'm sitting there like, I wonder if he knows I'm here. And then at the very end, he's like, "Don't get me wrong, Bert Kreischer, you're a nice guy, I'm sure, but I want to see you 1 week in fucking Iowa when it's snowing and you can't leave your hotel, and there's only an Arby's to eat next door to you, and you got to fucking drink wine just to get through and like does this whole bit." And then I'm in the back, and I'm just like, I'm fucking leaving, because I was like, so then cut to like probably 4 years later, I'm in Sacramento, soulless, empty, like in the fucking Taffy district or wherever the fucking place is, and I'm just empty, and I'm drinking a lot, and I email Stanhope, And I'm like, I wonder if I could reach out to the dude. Because comics are all like, you know each other.
Right.
So I email Stanhope, and like 20 minutes later, I get a message back. Long, oh, welcome to the quickening. And then he just emailed me now and then, like, how you doing, baby girl?
Stanhope called me up the other day, pie-eyed drunk. Called me, and I tried to, I realized, right when we started talking, he wanted to talk. He got in an altercation with Janine Garofalo on the green room, Paul Provenza's green room. So I wanted to hear his version.
Shut
of it.
up.
Yeah. Well,
I'm so turned on to Janine Garofalo, by the way.
Are you really?
Fucking so turned on to her.
It feels like it's 1993 right now.
Oh my gosh, she looks so good right now. But go ahead.
For real?
Yeah, she stopped drinking. She
Is
looks
that
healthy.
what you're into? You're into that look?
No.
Out of all the choices?
Maybe I am. My wife
Tracy
kinda looks
Lord's
like
in her prime, or
I'm going Janine Garofalo.
Whoa.
Tracy Lord's definitely going to Janine Garofalo.
I would have agreed
really?
in 93.
Tracy Lords, you don't think is hot?
No, I don't. No.
What is wrong?
I used to
with
fuck
your
blonde
DNA?
chicks all the time.
Who
And
cares? She's got brown hair.
oh, I thought she had blonde hair.
I didn't even notice. How the fuck did you notice?
Wait. So what happened with Stanhope and Garofalo?
Okay. Apparently, Garofalo, on her first set after 9/11, went on stage at the Laugh Stop in Houston, and according to Stanhope, what she said is that everybody should just back the fuck off, and Noam Chomsky should back the fuck off and leave George Bush alone, because this is obviously a crazy situation, and and the guy's doing the best he can. And Stanhope was saying that he was very disappointed because he went to see her expecting some really biting social commentary, and Stanhope was doing this bit about 9/11 that he was really sticking his neck out there. He was like, where was I guess your God takes Tuesday off. He was doing this thing about all these people praying for God, and how this came through even in spite of all these people. There was this religious fervor, and he had this big anti-war thing that he was working on, and he was really into it. And so when he went and saw Janine Garofalo, and she's saying give George Bush a break, that always gnawed him. So he brought it up on the show, apparently.
Fucking love Doug Stanhope.
And I talked to Jamie Kilstein, and Kilstein saw it, and he gave me his version of it. And then I talked to Doug, and I got this fucking version. Doug gave me the drunk man version. He was hammered when I talked to him. It was a really crazy conversation, because Doug and we have these conversations where we'll talk every few months, and it's okay, where you at? What are you thinking about? And then when we're talking, it's this doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense, and then what happens, and what's the point in even concentrating on any of this? Right, exactly. I'm there too.
Yeah.
And we'll have these weird conversations, where we're just trying to how much have you been trying to figure out in life in the last 3 months since we last talked, and then we try to figure out if either one of us has come to any conclusions that make you happy. And in the middle of this, he goes, Is there anything that gives you hope? Is there anything that gives you hope? And I was just sitting there going, wow, what a strange conversation. I'm sober, completely sober. He's fucked up drunk. And he's going, dude, is there anything that gives you hope?
Maybe he's thinking of a tagline for himself.
You should have said the fleshlight.
Yeah.
That fucking gives me hope.
15% off.
Go
to my website.
Now, what was
his version of it? I mean, he just was relaying exactly what he saw, and he thought it was disappointing that she didn't take a stand.
And he's not attacking her; he's just telling her.
Yeah, but you know what? Quite honestly, after 9/11, who the fuck knew exactly what happened, and who knows still? Yeah. I have a real issue with people that want to argue about 9/11 and it's a fucking inside job, or it was there's no way the government would have done that. Either argument where you're so goddamn sure. That whole thing is just a bunch of puzzles. There's a bunch. I watched that Jesse Ventura show, and I don't know if he's telling the truth or if it's real. But if it is real, what he said on that conspiracy show is fucking terrifying. That Donald Rumsfeld had a press conference the day before the 9/11 attacks where they said that some insane amount of money in the trillions was missing and they couldn't account for it, and they were working on it. And then the next day, the Pentagon gets hit in the exact same spot where the accounting offices are, where all that information was stored. That's what got hit in the Pentagon. And they're talking about trillions of dollars that were unaccounted for. I have no understanding of that. When it's so abstract to me. First of all, when you start talking about trillions of dollars, I mean, I can't even wrap my head around that. I don't even know what that means. And then when you tell me that the money was unaccounted for, and they smashed this plane into the exact, or a missile, if you listen to some people, into the exact offices. What does that mean now? They didn't have a backup somewhere. They didn't back their shit up online. All that money. I don't know what happened to that money. So if you don't know what happened to that money, then this conversation's over, because we can't talk until we have any information. But there's so many different things about 9/11 that make you go, why did that happen? Why did this happen? What the fuck happened to that Tower 7? You can't say one way or the other. You can't say that they did do it, that the United States government was involved, and you can't say they weren't involved. You got to look at it and go, what did happen? You would have to go back in time and watch it all you'd have to watch every single aspect of it play out in front of your own eyes to really be truly sure.
Yeah, I believe in some conspiracy. I believe that the Flight 800 conspiracy, that terrorists
got shot by a missile.
Got shot by a missile, and then Clinton just pimped it and was like,
blew up in the middle of the fucking ocean, man.
And Clinton's like, no, that was a wiring thing.
Yeah,
fuck you and all your tries. That I believe
they would
in
never.
that shit.
Yeah, if there was a way to avoid telling people that a terrorist attack had blown up
that
an
you can
airplane,
affect us.
Yeah,
they'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure. They would hide that information. They would say, well, it was an engine malfunction, and that's it. If they could find a way to avoid any sort of information getting out like that, because first of all, people are going to freak out about something that most likely, with 300 million people in this country, most likely is not going to affect you. It's an isolated incident, and by the way, we're immune to those isolated incidents, but they happen every fucking day all over the world in these places where we're supposed to be liberating. I mean, in Iraq, fucking buildings just get hit by missiles. Whoopsies.
Yep.
We didn't mean to shoot this building, but we did. Sorry, everyone who died. I mean, that shit is commonplace all outside of the world. But if the United States government can keep us from recognizing that, and they would do it. I think they would do it. They would do it, and they would think they were doing us a favor.
No, what's stand-up like these days?
It's angry and dark and twisted and resolved. And
I want to do a show.
As fuck. That's what it is.
I want to do a show called Comedy Intervention, where you take a guy like Stanhope and go, look, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna have like 8 comics that he likes. We're gonna go through. We're gonna make you 1 hour special that you can sell on DVD. It's gonna be clean, and you're gonna make $20 million, and then you can do whatever you want, and you can have a trust fund for the rest of your fucking life. Because I bet if he spent some time just going through what would be Brian Regan's set list, I bet his fucking view, like if he had a kid, all this, like this, when you had your kids, did your like you the first, when you first do, you go, fuck, I'm noticing a lot of the shit everyone else noticed. But then
no, I didn't think that. I mean, there's definitely going to be things that you notice that other people have already talked about, but I just, to this day, still, like when I had a little conversation with my daughter this morning, and it's like I'm on drugs.
You had a conversation with your daughter?
Oh, my daughter.
That's what I thought he said.
I was like, I think you might have been on drugs.
Yeah.
I'm like a fucking one of those commercials. I had a conversation with my daughter this morning. I went to the store and I got bagels. She loves lox, like salmon.
Yeah.
And so we're eating bagels and lox. And I'm having this little conversation with her. She's like, I love salmon. It's so yummy. Is it really yummy? It is, okay. I would like some more. And we're having this little conversation. I'm looking at this incredibly cute little 2.5-year-old person who's talking to me that I love more than anybody I've ever loved ever. And I'm having this weird little conversation with her about salmon. Like, do you want some more? Daddy, I want some more. I am not quite filled up. And then she starts laughing and she like rubs her tummy. And then, I gave her some more and she's like, delicious. And she tries to make me laugh. And it's like, it's surreal. It doesn't even seem real.
Yeah.
I always explain children to people who don't have children. I'm like, it's just like mushrooms. If you haven't done mushrooms, you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You can't say, that doesn't do any good for you. That's just an escape. Like, if you've done it and you have that opinion, then I would like to talk to you about it, because I think it's strange that you would have that opinion if you've actually done mushrooms. Yeah. It's the same thing with children. People say, it's just a bunch of fucking cells and, no big deal, man. Get over it. Yeah. You say that, but it's love. It's love in the purest form. And most of the time you're dealing with douchebags in life, and it's very difficult to be open and loving all the time and to really just put out only positive energy, or you feel like people will walk over you. Experiences that you had when you were growing up getting bullied, and I had, and everybody has. It's very difficult to like put out love like that. So it's easy to dismiss it when you have an absolute pure form of love for like a baby that you're raising. People who don't have them don't understand.
It's like being a born-again Christian.
Sort of, I guess.
Like those, and you almost have this look to your friends like,
Right.
Don't worry. When you get saved, you'll figure it out.
Sort of, but it's also tremendous responsibility. Where I just felt like a massive growth and maturity and pragmatic way of looking at things just kicked into like 7 gears higher.
Yeah.
I started working harder. I started focusing more on certain shit. It's like It's an evolutionary stage. I really believe that just like, when a healthy bird leaves the nest, that's like, you talk to kids that are like 30 that still live at home. They're fucked up. There's something wrong with them. They never really went out and did their own shit, and they never really became adults. They're stuck in this, this salamander stage where they never quite, blossomed into the mature animal. And so when I see that, I think that having children is another stage like that. I'm not saying that everyone should have children.
I don't think that at all.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. Or that having children is going to definitely evolve you, or that you need to do it to evolve. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, some people end up drowning their kids in a tub.
Fuck yeah, they do. Yeah, there's some crazy assholes out there. And not only that, sometimes they get involved with someone who's like really detrimental to you, but you like to fuck them. And all of a sudden you have a baby with that person. And now you have this incredibly chaotic relationship where they try to keep the baby from you, to manipulate you. And, the things can get really ugly. But for me, at least, I think having a child kicked my whole being into another level.
I went from being a guy who hung out at the Hollywood Improv drinking until the bar closed to literally the week my daughter was born, being on the road every single fucking week. Like taking feature sets for no money, like just because I knew that I'd get better and better, and like
really ambitious,
just horrifically. And now I'm on the place where I think I'm traveling like 50 weeks this year.
Wow. Do you bring your kids, your wife with you and your kid?
Yeah, I'm gonna take them. I'm going to doing a trip to Indianapolis, Arizona, and then Cancun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for the Bert the Conqueror, so we'll go to like the greatest theme parks. So I'll take them.
Oh, that's great.
And we'll take them. We'll just spend the day at a theme park, and they have like an escort, and they can just go do wherever they want. So now it's turning out. I think this summer we're gonna do it pretty heavily.
What has there been any of these rides that were the worst? Like, what's the most craziest one you went to?
I think the Stratosphere really fucked my head up.
Las
That's
Vegas.
the one in Vegas?
Oh, man, I was like bad the night before. I was throwing up in a bathtub and like called my wife and told her I was running to the desert and was like, I'm fucking out. I'm going to get sued for this production cost because I'm not going to do it. But don't tell
You were
anyone.
that scared of it? After you've been on a bull? Or after you've been attacked by a bull?
Once you've been
heights, man.
Yeah, heights is a different thing, man. Heights, it shuts your brain
Look
down.
at your fingers, you're moving so fast and everything. You're
like, as I'm talking about, I'm getting, my ass just started sweating.
Really?
Like the second I talk about it, because it knocks your stomach out. I mean, I can't even look at the videos online of people on like those Russian kids climbing on the tower.
We talked about that. Did you see that?
Fucking my asshole starts tingling.
Oh my god, it's so hard to watch.
I told the man, my wife's like, just tell the producers, you can't do it, and just be a man about it. So I called this guy, Dan Adler, that morning, and I was like, and I hadn't slept, and I'd been drinking, and it was a bad scene. I was a wreck. I was a real fucking, like, wreck. And I was like, dude, I can't do it. It's not going to happen today. And he was like, that's fine. That's totally cool. I get that. But here's the deal. If you're not going to do it, I need you to not do it on the edge of the building. Like, I need you to get all the way to that moment and then back off. Wow. And I was like, and he goes, and you do not have to do it. But I can make a show out of that. I can't make a show if you just go, I'm not doing it. So I was like, okay. So I went through the whole thing, did the training, got the jumpsuit on, did all my interviews, got up to the top, started doing my reads. And my cameraman, this guy, Scott Sands, is hanging off the building, literally tethered in and hanging off the building with a camera. Fearless motherfucker. This guy fucking loves that shit. And he's taping my reads, and I'm on the edge, and I'm fucking I've pissed my pants a little bit at this moment. Like, it's just bad. It's a bad scene. And Scott starts laughing. And I go, what? And he's like, there's like 400 people at the bottom waiting for you to jump. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, there's like 200 behind you right now. He goes, dude, it's going to be much easier to jump than to tell 600 people and the mayor who's waiting for you with a shot of tequila that you're not jumping. So I was the first person to do
the mayor was waiting for you with a shot of tequila?
I was the first person to jump on the ride. I was the first guy to do it. So I was like, shit. And he was like, I just jumped, man. It's 16 seconds. And then it'll be over.
16 seconds is so long.
It's a fucking free fall for 16 seconds.
Make it 16 seconds. 16 seconds.
This is your
ready.
free fall. You just jumped right now. And right now you're going, right now you're thinking, oh, the ride works. but then you're thinking, man,
Now
this is
you're
really
freaking
fucking
the
high.
fuck out.
This
You're
is
like,
really
when am I
fucking
gonna
high.
hit the bottom?
Like, and you're looking at a target below.
Oh my God, still not even time.
You're about 80
Ready.
stories, and right now you're
Time.
You're 40 stories away. You still haven't landed.
Did you shit
now
yourself?
You've landed.
Did you shit yourself?
So
or
what is
anything?
this? Explain the ride to me because I don't know it.
It's controlled descent. So they hook you in on a 7-point harness and with basically a big fishing reel. And so you jump and you fall, and that tether makes sure you don't run into the building or like swing out. It basically keeps you in one kind of area so you can land on the target.
Yeah, but what if it gets windy? I mean,
It was very windy my day, as a matter of fact. They do it by gusts, so it's gusts of like 45 miles per hour.
Right.
So it's a windometer. So anytime a wind gust hits 45 miles an hour, they shut the ride down for 15 minutes, and then they wait for the wind gust to go back down. And my day, they were just peaking, but they had fucking 100 people waiting to do it, and they needed to open the ride. And you can see that they're just like,
Oh my God.
ignore it. So then I'm just a fucking, and I've got my producer Lonnie is like in the background with my script going like, I need you to say, I'm here in Las Vegas on the top of the strip. This like, and I'm like, and I just start going, fuck you, Lonnie, fuck you, you can fuck yourself. I'm fucking jumping right now. And she's like, Bert, don't jump. And I'm like, fuck everyone, I'm fucking jumping. And now I know they can't use any of that because you can't use cursing.
Right.
And so then I'm like, and then I'm calm down. I'm like, okay, seriously, I'm gonna jump. Okay, and they just use that, me jumping. So then we do it. I land, I have a religious moment, I start crying, I take a shot, and I'm just like, I'm alive. There's no better feeling in the world than surviving a fucking 110-story jump. 110 stories.
Fuck, dude.
110 stories is the height of the Sears Tower. Oh my God. Think about standing on the edge of the Sears Tower. Oh. And then I get down, I do it, I'm like, fuck, and they're like, can you do it again? And I was like, no, I'm not, I'm done. So then, like 2 weeks later, they're like, listen, we didn't get any of your fucking reads. I was like, what? And they're like, we didn't get any of your reads. We need to send you back to Vegas to like do pickups because there was a lot of shit because you were so fucked up that we didn't get. So I was like, okay. So we have to reshoot the episode, but we're just basically
Everything but the jump.
Everything but the jump is what they're telling me. So then we get up to the top.
I know where this is going.
And they're like, and my buddy Scott Sands goes, look, dude, I put in for like a fucking $120,000 lens. I'm going to sit a mile from you, but I'm going to shoot you from a mile. And if you jump, it's going to look sick. And I was like, Scott, I'm not jumping. And he goes, I'm just saying, man, it's your show. Do you want it to get picked up for a second season? It's going to look sick. So then I was like, fuck. So I get up to the top and I know I'm not jumping. And then I get up to the top and I realize standing on the edge, it's easier to jump than to walk away from it. So I was like, fuck it. And I just jumped again, had the same religious moment. You get down to the bottom. It's not religious. It's like a spiritual awakening where you're like, I'm fucking alive. I'm going to hug my kids. Like, oh, they called me 2 weeks ago and they're like, the Navajo Bridge in Arizona, they want me to jump off it and do a bungee jump. It's like 500 feet. It's pretty gangster for a bungee jump. And
Dude, 500 feet is really high.
free fall for 400. Free fall bungee style.
God,
so
how
I'm
long
looking
does that take?
Probably 8 seconds. And the real pimp part is you don't jump. 4 dudes lift you up like you're on a boat and they just throw you off.
Oh my God.
So you feel out of control. And I'm looking for
Holy
a celebrity
shit.
to do it with because I don't want to do it by
Go
myself.
with Joe.
Get the fuck out of here.
It'll straighten your back up right away.
Yeah, no, I'm fine, man.
You'd
Don't
never
worry.
do that?
No.
Really?
Not into that. Not into that.
I'm not either, but like I'm doing
Not
running.
into tricking my brain into thinking I'm almost dying. I get it. I get it. Looks like fun. I don't need that kind of stress in my life.
It's all my life's filled with right now.
It's crazy, man.
It's not even that much money. Like it's like
Well, is it helping your gigs though? It should be helping. your gigs.
Yeah. I sold out 5 shows in DC this week, and like it's family friendly audiences.
Oh, no.
So you just have to train them to watch what you watch. You did it.
Well, that's something you were saying too. Yeah, that's what you're saying when you were talking about comedy intervention, like getting someone and taking someone and making them super clean and realizing there's so much money out there in that. But,
Yeah.
But if you did that to
I couldn't do clean.
yeah, and a guy like Stanhope couldn't do it either. It wouldn't be fun anymore. It wouldn't be the same thing. It would be all of a sudden there's a job that you can do where you can make money, but you're not going to be really doing stand up anymore.
You're not going to
just
be doing
kinda
what?
this job.
Like your brain won't be thinking the way it normally thinks when you're on stage. Or I feel like my brain is just juggling thoughts to me, like, "Ooh, this would be good."
You
and then,
can't do that if you're saying, no, can't go there. Nope, can't go
Fuck.
here. Nope, can't say that. Be careful when you say this.
Yeah.
Don't want to offend any sponsors. So when you do stand-up now, when you were saying that you get them to like what you like, or get them to know what you do.
I start about my kids. Like I'll start. I mean, they're not good. They're not by any stretch of the means clean jokes. One joke's about my daughter. My daughter's in a room. My youngest was fingering her ass and putting it in the dog's mouth. and so
They finger their assholes all the time. It's so disturbing.
Stop.
She's like, she'll be talking to me about like playing on the swings, and she's just digging in her vagina.
Yeah.
Just fingers in her vagina. So maybe we can go on a swing. What do you think? Maybe we can do that.
Oh, wait,
like
no,
maybe
wait.
you can stop fingering yourself when you're talking to your dad.
No, wait. That's
Fuck.
but that joke when you do something about your children fingering their ass.
Yeah, you gotta be
that
careful.
Takes all the parents that went to see a clean show and puts everyone at the same level and goes, oh, that shit does happen.
It does happen.
So then once their brains get reset for that, then they go, okay, all this shit does happen. He's not being mean. I stopped doing racial jokes, like being heavy on racial jokes, just because I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't care. Like I don't give a shit enough about equality to put my job on the line to try to make everyone even. Like I'll get into nights if it's an all black room where I just do black jokes, but not mean, but just what I do, black jokes.
Right.
But and then you do that. And once you do that, you have a fucking power of attorney to do anything. Because even the clean people go, my kids finger their ass too.
Right.
You know. And then I improv. I talk to the audience a lot.
But when you were saying that you used to do racist jokes or racial jokes. You know, you stopped doing them because they offended too many people?
No, no one ever got offended, but I just noticed that I was obsessing on it. Like I could write all day long. I could write jokes about black people. I mean, if you I swear to God, if you put me in a room with a black audience, all I'll do is talk about black people. All I'll do. And like now the furthest I go is I have a joke about, I think it's racist that they don't make black baby powder. Like I just think that from a company named Johnson & Johnson, they would have thought of that by now.
That's pretty funny.
And then they go, you know, that's how I'm gonna make $1 million. I'm gonna make black baby powder, and then I'll call it Magic Johnson & Johnson's. So then one night, this is great. One night, this black dude sits up in an audience in Miami. He goes, "Hey, motherfucker, when you get done your little joke about black baby powder, I'll tell you I don't make shit." And so I was like, I think I'm done with the joke now. Like, why don't they make it? And he goes, "We don't have a problem with moisture the way you guys do." He goes, "Every time I hug a white guy, it's like hugging a dolphin." He goes, "Black people have a problem retaining moisture." So they have a problem getting ashy. So they have to always stay moist, whereas white people are constantly fucking moist.
Whoa.
And so he's like, they just never needed black baby powder. Black people don't use.
You.
And I was like, but it was awesome. It was like a great moment. I love, dude, if I had a videotape of every experience I've had with black people in an audience, I would be the most famous comic in the world. I've had black dudes get on stage in Miami, right? Real shit. Fucking 3 gangsters in the front row. True story on my children. Fucking, they're ruining the show for everyone. And I go up and I just talk to them. One dude gets up on stage halfway through my set. And he's like, this is a real motherfucker. He's keeping it real talk right now. Real talk. You know what real motherfuckers getting the 305? And he drops his pants and shows his dick. Place goes bananas, right? They're like, and it's the biggest, blackest. It's almost purple. It's so black. Like, but it's huge. It's huge. And I'm like, that is real. That is fucking real. And then I'm like,
how big is his dick?
Fucking monstrous.
9 inches, 10 inches.
And it's a shower. It's like a thick. It's thick and uncircumcised. I'm just looking at it like, holy shit. So then I go, man, that's fucking, his name was Ray. I don't know why I remember that, but I'm like, Ray, I think you might want to get off stage because I can guarantee you they're calling the cops right now, and I don't want you to go to jail for just showing your dick. He's like, I appreciate that. Good looking out. And then he puts his pants on and leaves. So then I go, man, how do you follow that? Another gangbanger stands up, gets on stage. I go, please tell me we're seeing another cock right now. Pulls his pants down, fucking just as big, but lighter, like a lighter brown. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, and I was like, you might want to go catch up with Ray because I guarantee you they're calling the cops now. So they're sitting with, I swear to you, all my children, they're sitting with a hairless albino. Okay. And I said, and now the crowd is like fucking in a fevered pitch. I go, that's funny. Out of all the dicks I wanted to see, it was yours. He stands up, gets on stage, takes his dick out, and it looks like a lighthouse. Just no grass, bright white, and they're flipping over fucking tables now, like fucking going nuts. And I was like, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show.
That's the perfect way to end.
Got off like that's my show.
Damn it.
Oh, I literally
How do you follow that? You can't follow that.
can't follow it. I literally
A white glow in the dark Casper the Ghost dick.
Oh, it was beautiful and it was big. It was big. I swear to you, it was big. And I was like, fucking. And then they all waited for me out at the bar, and they were like, "Dude, we're taking you out." And I was like, "I don't think this doesn't end this way." But I was in my like I want to be Dave Attell phase, hardcore, and I was like, I'm fucking going out with these guys. This is what comedy's about. It's having this experience. I went in one time to do radio. Miami's my crazy club. Like I go in and I do the fucking morning pimp show, and they happen to have this.
You do the improv in Miami all the time? You like that place? I stopped going to that place, man.
But you can't because you're famous. So when like
I stopped going way before I was famous.
But that club wants to get the best of you. Like they want to show you you're wrong.
What happened with me was I was on stage once and I brought up a boxer. I forget the boxer's name. I think it was Oscar De La Hoya in one of my jokes. And
you referenced him.
A fight broke out in the audience over, no, fuck Oscar De La Hoya, finish Trinidad, kick his ass. And then dudes were standing up and yelling at each other. And like an argument broke out in the crowd over like what boxer was the best boxer.
Yeah.
And who would fuck who up. And I just stopped and I said, I'm never coming back here.
Yeah.
Was that just a bad audience? So that could have happened.
No, that's very common there.
No, Miami Improv, they lost control of that place a long time ago. They somehow or another
they stopped.
Gave away too many free tickets.
They give away a ton of free tickets if you're white because they can sell tickets to black people. And then, so one time I go do the morning pimp show and they have this gang in there called the Zo Pound. Whoa, right?
A real gang?
Real gang, dude. Look it up. They were on Gangland. Okay, these are all Haitian motherfuckers. Dude. So they're doing this thing, this song, I'm a Zo. That's their song that they're singing in studio. And now, mind you, I'm just doing radio. I'm doing press. Like I'm just there to fuck around. But I know the one thing I do in these stations, I bring a bottle of tequila in, and then I get everyone drunk, and then I just take my shirt off, and we go fucking crazy.
When you do press, you always bring in tequila?
Sometimes. What? I've done it before, but I think that's more because I'm an alcoholic and not sometimes.
They'll get drunk with you in the morning?
And you'll sell out the entire fucking weekend.
That's awesome.
All anyone's doing is driving to work wishing they were drinking, and then they hear you drinking, and all the rules go out the door, and every show lets you stay on until fucking 11. That's like awesome. It's been like a little trick I've done.
Wow, but what do you feel like for the rest of the day?
Take a nap.
Take it.
Take a nap. I look at you when you go into a radio. I've seen your radios and you'll come in high
as fuck,
and I'm like, how do you function for the rest of the day?
Oh, I do, but high doesn't kick your ass.
Alcohol.
See, I smoke weed and then I go to the gym. Like it doesn't affect me the same way. I go like if I'll do like the morning radio and I'll smoke some weed before the morning radio. Yeah. I'll go to the gym afterwards. I'll go lift weights. I'll run or I'll do the elliptical machine. Like it feels good.
I usually, I don't do that.
When I drink, man. When I drink, I'm done. The next day, I'm done.
I have a very long history with drinking. So, so the Zo Pound.
Yeah. So these guys are singing.
So I'm doing shots of tequila in there, and they're calling me cocaine because I'm white.
Right.
And so then I tell them, I go, you guys can come to my show tonight if you want. And they're like, oh, we're coming.
Oh, you're crazy.
So I'm like, this will be fun because I just seen these guys on Gangland, right? So they come to the show, and like 15 minutes in, they walk on stage, like Matt just deep with the fucking bottle of tequila, and they're like, we're drinking this on stage right now. And I'm like, holy shit. And DJ Laz comes up, and we all just fucking...
DJ Laz?
DJ Laz.
You say that like we're supposed to know who the fuck that guy is.
He's the biggest DJ in South Florida for like
really?
Latinos. Yeah.
Okay.
But and he'll like if you're a white comic and you can get in that room and do well, you'll sell out for the weekend. Like you're not sell out, but you'll not sell out. You're not buying
doing
tickets.
West Palm this weekend. Not this weekend, next weekend.
That is the best. You doing Paul and
UFC.
Ron?
Yeah.
They're great, dude.
Yeah, they're great guys.
They'll fucking...
Yeah, I've done their show many, many times. Those guys are really cool.
That's a great club. And you probably know Johnny, the guy that's managing it now.
Yeah, I've been to that club a long time ago, back when it was a smaller club.
Dude, that's your market. There too. Those guys fucking, like, those people... Like, when you get done a show, you know who the big comics are and you know who the ones that people don't go see are. Based on what comics go. So... Do you know guys like everyone always says, do you know Rogan? Everyone always wants to know if you know Dane Cook.
Who do you know?
Yeah,
who do you hang out with in Hollywood?
Basically, and I'm always like, yeah, they're all great. But
do you ever talk shit about anybody?
Oh yeah.
What comics do you talk shit about?
I can't say.
Can't say?
I can't say. But I mean, you could probably guess. But yeah, I talk shit about. I gotta stop. I gotta stop because there's comics I've talked shit about a lot that just came up to me and they're like, dude, I'm a big fan. And I'm like, oh, me too. It's the worst feeling in the world. Like,
It
you know,
is.
Ari is someone who I initially did not like.
Really?
Because I met him one night and he was just standoffish, but he was just Ari. He
Yeah.
wasn't being standoffish.
awkward.
Yeah, and I wanted to meet him, and then he didn't, and then he walked away, and then I was like, oh fuck that guy. And then I saw, his Amazing Racist.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw a clip, and then wanted to hate it. I wanted to hate it.
Really?
And that's the way a
because
comic.
he was
yeah.
kinda weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I watched it. It was the best thing. I said, I don't give a fuck. When I see that guy again, I'm gonna make friends with him.
Yeah.
And I saw him at the Improv one night, like right after the shit went down with you and Metsia, and like you guys switched. And I was like, dude, I just want to tell you, like, I'm a big fan. Like, you make me laugh a lot. And Ari's just like, really? Thanks, man. And then
that's
we hung
all
out,
right.
and then, yeah. But if you tell people you like them, then they like you too.
Yeah, a
That's
lot of times.
all you have to fucking do.
A lot of times, yeah. A lot of times, comics are standoffish with each other because everyone is so competitive.
Yeah.
you know, especially early on. Comics, for some reason, have this weird thing where they think that if someone else is being successful, that somehow or another it keeps them from being successful. Like their success takes away from you. Like that could have been yours or something
Yeah.
crazy. It's like this weird illogical connection that a lot of comics make.
And it's happened. It almost happens with every fucking comic you meet.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I know because I'll have arguments with comics in my heads. I've had
like
arguments.
fake arguments.
I had an argument with Opie from Opie and Anthony in my head. Never met the guy in my entire life.
That's hilarious.
But I love their show, and I wanted to get on their show to promote things.
Oh, dude, you'd be awesome on their show.
And
You're
they'd-
perfect for their show.
They never let me on. Like they're always like, no.
They still don't let you
No,
on?
still don't let me on.
Listen, Opie listens to this show sometimes. I guarantee you he'll hear about this from Twitter and he'll have you on.
I had a
And
dream
Someone
last
cut
night.
up some clips of the funniest shit that he said, and
So
you'll
wait.
be on Opie and Anthony.
So here's
for
what
sure.
happened. I had a dream last night that I could fly, and I flew into Opie and Anthony's studio, and I was walking around. I was like, oh shit.
Like fly through the air?
Yeah, but their
Without
studio
a plane?
Without a plane, I was flying. And it was in a tent. And I went in, and they had these gift bags, and I was
Right.
like, oh. So I opened one up, and I was stealing one. I was like, I want to get one of these. I love Opie and Anthony. This will be awesome. And then it was an Opie and Anthony scarf. So I pulled it out, and I went, oh fuck, I can't use an Opie and Anthony scarf because then everyone will know I got it from here, and then they'll be like, we didn't give it to you. So I put it back, and then I left. I flew away, and then as I was hovering above their tent where they were doing their show, Opie came in and said, who stole this fucking scarf? And I was like, you know what? If I man up to this and tell them, Norton will have my back. So I go in, and I'm like, listen, I'm the one who opened that. I didn't steal it. I mean, Norton wasn't there, and Opie's like, who the fuck are you? And he basically, in my dream, my brain told me everything about me that I think, like all the horrible shit. So now I'm pissed off at Opie for fucking saying that to me. So I start getting in a fight with him, and then I wake up, right? And then I literally laid in bed arguing with Opie. Never met him. I listen to his show every day. I'm the biggest fucking fan.
So you were preparing yourself in case you.
In case I go in, and he literally does the, typical Opie throw a chest set at me, like fucks with me, ruins me, like tries to make me look like a fool.
He doesn't really do that to comics, though. He only does that. I mean,
He did. He used to, I think. They used to a lot.
Really?
Yeah, they did it to the guy that killed himself.
Who?
The one of the guy in the bathtub that.
Oh, Richard Jenny?
They did it to Richard Jenny.
No.
Yeah,
Did
Pat.
they really?
Yeah, they made him like stand outside the studio, and they wouldn't let him in.
What?
All radio show guys would sell out their mom for a bit.
Wow.
Like if
I
they
didn't
think
know
they could
did
get a
that.
good bit out of humiliating
So
me.
what happened with the Richard Jenny thing? What was the story?
I've probably listened to every Opie and Anthony. It's just back in the day, they made him sit outside the studio in the glass, and they made him do his interview from there.
What?
Like I think.
Do you think he was in on it though? Maybe that was
No,
like,
no. I don't think they liked him.
Why?
I don't know. I don't remember this whole story. I'm probably paraphrasing in a way that makes it horrible. But yeah,
He was a guy that had a weird reputation, though. Jenny was a troubled guy. Brilliant comedian, though, man. I went to see him when I was an open micer at Catch a Rising Star in New York, and he really influenced me a lot early in my career to the point where I caught myself a couple times on stage when I was really young, when I was sounding just like him, where I was like, whoa, I gotta fucking make sure I don't. I mean, I'm sounding like I'm ripping him off. Like I'm imitating him, you know?
I think so many comics do that.
Oh, he was so good, man. When I saw him at Catch a Rising Star, he influenced me so much because he just freeballed. He had so much material. He just went all over the place with it. I'd never seen anybody do that before. Everybody else that I had seen do sets, they always had like a sort of an opening that they would always do. Then they'd have a middle part, and then they would have a closer. Well, when I saw Richard Jenny, man, I saw him a couple times in a row, and every time I saw him, he was doing like a different hour and a half, and I was like super humbled.
He was so quick. I remember hosting for him at the Hollywood Improv, and I'm in the back watching him. And I'd come from New York, so I was like, in my head, I was like, if I didn't know you in New York, you're not anything. Basically, I was basically saying, if you're not Geraldo, Attell, Hedberg, in my head.
Right.
So someone says, he said something, and now we're going to go over there and look for, this is right after 9/11. Now they want to tell us to go over there and look for weapons of mass destruction. What a load of bullshit is that? You think they got them? And some lady goes, they have nuclear weapons. And he goes, listen, you dumb whore. If they had them, they would have fucking used them. Do you think they're holding back? And I was just on the floor. I was like, what a great perception. Like, would they use them?
Right.
Of course they would have used them. But yeah, he was great.
He was so prolific, and he was the best guy that I had ever seen at really like dragging the most out of a subject. Like he would get on a subject and he would fuck that subject up from all different angles.
Yeah.
And right when you thought he was done, he would go deeper, and then he would go deeper, and it made me realize, like, man, that's something that's really present in amateurish comics, where they will touch on a subject and then immediately have a quick joke and then immediately go to another subject.
It's me.
Well, it's everybody in the beginning.
It's me. I've gotten so fucking lazy.
It's a bad thing, man. You know, it's really easy to do. You know,
Yeah.
especially when you get comfortable on stage, especially if you do a lot of ad libbing.
Yeah, when you get a good ad lib, you're like, wow, that was genius.
Yeah.
I'll keep that, and as opposed to looking for the better one.
But Jenny would take like any subject, whatever it was, and just find all sorts of angles with it. He never really got the credit I think he deserved. It's really weird, you know. I just think people didn't appreciate how good he was.
No,
He
what was your...
came to East Side Comedy Club in New York and Long Island. I saw him there too, and I remember Peter Bales, who was the host, was just shaking his head back and forth. He's like, he did 3 different hours. He did 3 different shows in 3 totally different hours. He didn't repeat one joke once.
I was influenced by Attell massively.
Yeah,
Like as a New York
that got
comic.
you drinking too? Did that?
No, I was
partying thing. Or?
No, I was. I told you, I came in.
Yeah, explain that, because this is a crazy story. You didn't say this on the podcast.
Yeah. When I was in 1997, Rolling Stone magazine wrote a 6.5-page article about me, calling me the #1 party animal in the country. This actually gets a little weirder.
Were you doing stand-up back then?
No, just partying. Just had a notorious reputation at Florida State for being like funny, but being a wild party animal.
Like what kind of shit were you doing?
Just fun shit, like fun. I think loudest guy in the room shit. You know, like I remember I used to climb up on this telephone pole outside the bars on Tennessee Street. There would be 500 people out there. And I just stand up and I go, everyone shut the fuck up and listen. If you want to smoke weed, go to my house. And the cops are all sitting there. I have tons of weed, enough for everybody. And we're all going to have a blast and get high. If you know where I live, you're invited. If you don't, ask someone. Just no one tell the fucking cops. And you'd have literally 500 people just giggling at the idea that someone was offering them weed in front of a cop's face.
And what did the cops say when you did this?
They would laugh too. Like one time for an election, I got naked for this election and just shit on a pizza box and won the election.
Election for what?
For my fraternity, I just got up naked and shit on a pizza box, and then
And that's
everyone.
how you won?
And then I won.
Did you wipe?
No, I just shit. I learned one very important lesson. When you go #2, you also go 1. Because I pissed all over the feet on everyone that was sitting in front of me.
no.
But you can't stop it. When you go 1, you also go 2.
Jesus, dude.
And so I won the election. So like all these stories came out, and then Rolling Stone's like, let's do an article on him.
Oh my God.
It gets crazier. Ready? So you ready for the part that you go bullshit.
I will never say bullshit. I've heard enough of your stories. I'm not saying bullshit.
So Oliver Stone optioned the rights to my life, and then from the article. So then I try stand up, and I moved to New York to start doing stand up because I did it once in Tallahassee, and it went amazing. I got offered my own morning show in Tallahassee.
Really?
Yeah. Oliver Stone optioned the rights to my life. Like I start doing stand up 5 months later. Will Smith sees me do stand up, and I get a development deal with him, like right out the gates, like Bill Burr style. Been doing stand up for no time at all. Development deal based on the article, and then the fact that I could competently do stand up somewhat. And then the development deal falls apart with Oliver Stone. All the guys that have submitted their scripts for Oliver Stone's movie about my life then get their intellectual property back. One of the guys takes his movie, changes my name, sells it to National Lampoon, and it becomes the movie Van Wilder.
Whoa.
So theoretically, and I say this theoretically, loosely, I'll never be able to sue. I never would sue. But I went into National Lampoon and do you remember Kevin Couch? He used to have a show on National Lampoon.
Right.
Yeah, on XM radio?
Yeah. And I told him, I said, bring some execs in. I've always wanted to find out if this is true. So then he brought some execs in, and I start telling the story just like I am you. One of the guys fucking locks up like, hold on, stop right now. What do you want? What's going on here? Is this like an ambush? And I was like, no, I just want to be able to tell it on radio and know I'm not lying. That's all I care about. All I care about is the story being like true.
Right.
And he was like, what do you want? Like your own radio show? I'm like, ugh, fine. And then he's like, we'll do a show partying with the original Van Wilder. Are you happy? And I was like, yeah. And so then he was like, pretty much, I was like, so I can say it's true. But
so
yeah,
they were
That's
worried that you were
awesome.
going to sue them.
they were worried I was going to sue them because we
Well,
could.
that must mean you have a case. Why don't you just go fucking sue those cunts?
Barry Katz said to me one night, Papa, you can be one of two guys. You can be the guy that sues and doesn't work, or you can be the guy that doesn't sue and works. Which one are you? And I was like, I'm the one.
Anything Barry Katz would tell me to do, I would immediately do the
the
exact opposite.
Barry Katz was like,
Barry Katz used to drive a Ferrari while you owed everyone money.
he looked like the Grimace when they'd sell a toy Grimace in a car, just a big head sticking out of a tiny car.
He's so crazy.
He was like a big brother to me. He was my manager for a long time.
What happened? You got rid of him. You wised up, right?
And
You
it
had
just,
to.
it was like he just never could get in touch with him. You know? So I just went to levity.
No comment.
I want to rewatch Van Wilder.
But it's
pretty
I
crazy.
think if you want, I've never seen Van
I
Wilder.
think this is what you do, bro. You find out what the fucking statute of limitations is. Get to a point where you're so talented, you're so funny, you cannot lose. You just
Yeah.
have to keep doing what you're doing. You
Yeah.
cannot lose. You're a very, very entertaining dude. They can't stop you. So once you get to a certain point, and then you go after them. Get to
Yeah.
a certain point where you're embedded into the zeitgeist. I was just looking for a reason to use the word zeitgeist. Right?
Zeitgeist.
Very important. Show you my
what that
range. My range as a man. What is it? It's a strange conspiracy movie that they've got 3 episodes
right,
now. It's
right.
actually the idea of the mind of the culture. Get into the consciousness of the culture. The zeitgeist is like the mind frame, like where people's heads are at right now. The zeitgeist. There was a new one that they just did recently, I guess. But it's a lot of it's like 9/11 shit.
Of course, I tried to watch the first one.
Incorrect shit about certain things about religion. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So and then you get zeitgeist debunked, and things get really cloudy, and people go online and debunk it, and who's right, who's wrong. I don't have time for this shit,
Yeah.
you know. But you should sue the fuck out of those Van Wilder punks.
I'll never sue them.
Okay,
I'll
that's
never
all
sue
nice.
them.
How about I pretend I'm you, and I'll
it.
sue for you?
Do it, and then just let me swim in
give
your
me
pool.
your email address, bro.
Yeah.
You can swim in my pool anytime, bro. Come on over. Bring your daughters. We'll
I
have a
bring
little
my
party.
daughters in a
Put
heartbeat.
little park out here.
My daughters will
We'll have
think
a good
they
time.
swim, and they're like, oh, I can swim, Daddy. And I love just that first second where they jump in and then sink, and then you save their lives, and you see
Whoa.
rescue in their eyes. I can't swim, Daddy.
Wow.
I'm not into that. I'm into showing them how to swim.
No, I'm trying. No, but in
Asshole.
trying to teach them how to swim.
Daddy.
Yeah,
I don't throw them in like fucking my Uncle Johnny. Like, you go for it. This is how you learn, boy.
I don't know how I learned how to swim.
That's how they did it to us. They just threw
remember
us in
how.
fucking pools.
I can't remember not knowing how to swim. I just always knew how to swim.
I went to swimming lessons.
I must have
really?
done something.
Yeah.
I just got thrown in a pool by my Uncle Johnny.
Fucking Uncle Johnny.
Same dude whose son
motherfucker.
fell down a flight of stairs.
Really?
Same uncle. And Northeast, baby. That's how they did it. Irish Catholic. Throw you in a fucking pool. Learn how to swim.
Yeah, I grew up. Yeah, I grew
Native
up
American style.
in Jersey and in Boston. My formative years. That Northeast sort of a mentality. There's a lot to that. But
Yeah.
it makes people like more go getter. You know, that makes people more ambitious.
Yeah.
Makes people more the kind of people that can button down and get shit done. You know, there's something about California. There's something about this weather where it's 85 degrees in
so
January.
hard.
It just makes you weak. Just makes you a soft little bitch. You know, I wrote this on my Twitter, and I really believe this. People need visible nature to keep them humble. You need to see that snowstorm coming where you know you can't do shit. Sit the fuck down. I hope you have logs to burn because you might need them. The power might be out for a week.
Yeah.
You know, no one's going anywhere. And that quiet, you don't even know what quiet is until you get outside in the middle of a blizzard. When the blizzard's over and everything's covered in snow, like 3 feet of snow in Boston, I would go outside and you could hear like the quiet has like a sound to it. It's like it's empty. It's like you don't hear anything. The snow absorbs it all, and it's almost like a fake world. Like you go walking around and everything is white. It's like I really feel sorry for kids that don't grow up with some snow.
Yeah.
Don't get to experience that. And those fucking school days when you get a day off and you go outside and everything's covered in snow.
I never grew up with snow at all.
The only
in
problem with
Florida.
that is you could die out there. You could fucking freeze to death.
Fall asleep in a snowdrift and lose your foot.
Did you hear about this lady in Toronto that happened last week? The coldest night of the year. She apparently she had dementia and she froze to death outside in a neighborhood while she was screaming for people to help her.
Wow.
Shit.
Yeah, everyone's screaming and she just died out there. She was just a known nut. So like, look at that crazy broad out
That's
there.
why I don't drink
screaming.
in the snow.
Yeah,
A lot of dudes fall asleep and lose a
And
foot.
die,
Lose
yeah.
a foot. everyone loses a fucking foot.
So do you still throw them down like hardcore? Like you still partying it like you were, or have you slowed down a little?
I don't know. I don't know. I've had a major stretch where I didn't drink
At all?
Yeah.
Did you feel different on stage when you were sober?
Oh, I don't drink on stage. Here's the thing. Let me rephrase that because everyone that's listening and seeing me on stage is like, hold on, you fell off a stage one night. Like I've fallen off stage twice.
Really? Hammered?
Kinda. Not really. Like I wasn't that drunk. It just was bad footing.
Oh, okay.
Like once at Tampa Improv and once in DC Improv. But yeah, here's the thing: as I go up, I will have a beer when I get on stage. I will drink it fairly fast, probably, to sell drinks throughout my show, and then I probably sit. And then people send.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Really? Like you
David Tell said to me one night in Miami Improv. He said I was featuring for him. He said 2 things: when you're featuring, you should write all the time. You should never go up and try to kill. You should be writing and writing because no one gives a shit about you. And then the second thing he said is when you do get headlining, remember you are there to sell drinks. Like as much as you want to do your art, the more drinks you sell, the more appetizing you are to the club. And the club will bring you back if your bar sales are high. Doesn't matter what your ticket prices are.
Whoa.
So I literally just went on stage and I remember, and Attell would be like, he wouldn't even bring a drink most of the times. He'd bring up he'd have them send, whatever. I don't want to get behind Attell's theories on drinking on stage or what. But I would just go up and drink a beer.
No, but so complete what you were saying. He would bring up shots? That
I don't know. Now he doesn't drink, so I guess you can say it.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's pretty open about it.
He wouldn't drink shots. He would drink, it would be like coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, he would fake it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't drink now, so I don't think he gives a shit. But he would tell me, he's like, you gotta be sober, man. You gotta be working up there. Like that was Attell. Attell was never fucking drunk on stage.
Right.
So, but I would go up and I can drink a lot of beers. I can go up now and what I'll do is I'll play a song that's inspiring me. Like, because you get bored doing a lot of road work. Like one was this song "Alcohol, Pussy, and Weed" by the MJB and 8 Ball. Just fucking great. Just first 30 seconds of the song: "Alcohol, pussy, and weed. Alcohol, pussy, and weed."
Just that got you fired up for a show.
And it would and it was also because I was having family friendly people come out, and it would set the stage. So then the second song I do is this song by Maxim Ludwig and the Santa Fe 7. It was a really great song. And then now I go out and listen to Black Betty by Ram Jam.
Yeah.
And then as the song plays, I'll maybe fucking throw off a shirt, pound a beer.
Is that song? Whoa, Black Betty.
Bam-a-lam, whoa, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, Black Betty got a child. Bam-a-lam, the damn thing don't lie. Bam-a-lam, said you're not a mine. Bam-a-lam, oh, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, down, and right now, everyone in the crowd's fucking pumping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everyone raise a beer. We're pounding a beer right now. And then the whole fucking room lifts a beer. We pound it. And then right there, you just increased the entire bar staff, but the bar bill for the club by 5.
How many dudes are going to slide into trees on the way home, though? You ever think of that, pal?
My cousin fell down a flight of stairs. He was at that show.
Oh, that was the one?
Yeah, because then everyone sends shots. And we're talking like aggressive.
What's the most shots you ever drank on stage?
Oh, I couldn't even guess. I couldn't even maybe I don't know.
Take a guess. More than 10?
Oh, yeah.
More than 15?
No. Probably around 10 or 12. I've had a lot of shots on stage before. But, and those shows are usually more chaotic. Like, I had one in Tampa recently. This was like a really great moment where you're just so drunk you can't function. So I bring a black guy on stage and I do an interview.
Always bring a black guy who shows his
Dude,
dick. That's like a great new closer for you.
I bring it's the best. It's the best. You bring a black guy on stage and then one of two things will happen. Either you say something totally hilarious or all the white people just applaud for whatever he says, right? Oh, he's an engineer. Yay, good for him. He's not one of the, that's what happens. So I bring this black guy on stage and I'm like, and I try to guess what job he did. And then I used to have a great one where I bring a black guy, a Latino on stage and I go, I'm going to say it the way I say it. You say it the way you say it. And then I go, I would like to take you on a date. And then the Latino guy would be like, "Mummy, mummy, mummy," and then the black guy would be like, "Can I play and get some conversation?" And then we do like a bunch, and the crowd loved it because they were like, "Oh, that's right, the white guy's nerdy." And then I'd always close with, "All right, how about this one? I'd like to apply for a home loan." And I give it to the black guy, and he's like, It was great. It was great. So I bring this black guy on stage in Tampa, and I said to him, I go, I'm at a loss. We're having a great moment, making jokes. Then you can slide whatever jokes you do have in your pocket into that moment. Looks improv, place fucking flips out.
Right.
Like I tell, oh, you remind me of my black friend. And he's like, oh, you got a black friend? I'm like, yeah, his name's Imaginary. And so then just bam, right out the gates. So then I tell the black guy, I go, what do you want to do? And he goes, let's sing a song. I go, really? He's like, yeah. I go, okay. I go, what song do you want to sing? And he goes, Journey's Don't Stop Believing. I was like, all right. I go, do you have that in the DJ booth? So they start playing it, right? And so now it's me and the black guy singing Don't Stop Believing back and forth. Just a small town girl. And he knows all the words and it's killing. Then I have them cut the music and the whole crowd starts singing. And it's like just this like living in a lonely world. And you can literally, we would cut the music and then have it turn back on and everyone's right on time. Wow. And then at the end of the show, it's me and the black guy, no music, and the crowd's still singing and it's like, do it soft. And then you can hear 350 people go, just a small like, don't stop believing. And then I'm like, do it in a Mexican accent. And then the whole crowd's, don't stop believing. And then the black guy's doing it one more time. His shirt's off, right? And then the whole crowd sings. I grab his leather jacket, throw it on his shoulders. I'm like, we're done. And you just, that moment, you can never recreate that. You can't recapture it. You can't try to do it again.
Yeah, that's live performing.
It's just being in that moment and being 10 shots in and going, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. This can't end bad. But yeah, those are those moments. And then, but here's the problem. Then you get addicted to those moments. And then you sometimes like I got this like 90-year-old woman off stage and we were dancing to Alcohol, Pussy and Weed. And I've got her pinned like donkey style, like my hands on the ground, my legs are up over her shoulders and she's just going like this. And then you get addicted to that and you want to create that and you stop doing stand-up.
She was doing that to you?
It's online. Just type in.
She was on top of you and your legs were over her shoulders?
It's really hard to explain.
Okay, I'll see it. I'll look for it.
But it's just type in.
I want to hear more though. Just tell me more.
Yeah. So then, but you get addicted to those moments.
Right.
Because then like what happens is like, you have the story that maybe a comic tells another comic. When Bert was in Miami, 3 gangbangers showed their dick. And then other comics are like, dude, I can't wait to work with you. I want to see you work because I hear what you do. And you're like, I don't do that all the time, but it does happen. Then you feel pressure. And then you go do a set at the Hollywood Improv and it's just fucking 8 minutes of material. And you're like, that was uninspiring. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have those moments where like those oh shit moments where you're just like, this will never fucking happen like this again.
Right. And those are moments too when you're doing like an hour on stage and they get to know you and you're really in the groove with the crowd.
And it's a
gone
moment.
Through a lot already.
Best, like this is, and I give this to any comic listening if you ever need to do this, because sometimes you get that reputation and then you go to a club and they're like, listen, we got a marriage. They want to propose on stage. We told them it was cool with you. Listen, it's a shit dick moment, but here's what you do. I've given this to every comic that wants to use it. It's brilliant. It came in the moment. I had like 4 shots tequila. I had a guy who wanted to propose to his chick. This is what you do. Bring them both up on stage to do a shot of tequila. Okay? The guy knows he's proposing. You don't worry about that. Get him on stage, and then you tell the girl, we're going to play a game. We're going to blindfold you, and you're going to have to feel our chests. Just our chests, and tell which one's your husband and which one's me. And then she's like, okay, so you blindfold her, right? Then you tell the dude, now. And so he gets on his knee with the ring, and then you just release the blindfold. Dude, you want to talk about 200 people like crying, like, oh my God, the perfect setup. And it's such an easy way to get out of that. Like, because a lot of times when you're a young comic, the manager will just be like, they give me $500, just make sure he proposes to her. So if you're a comic and you ever get stuck in that situation, feel free to use it. It's how I did it, and it killed.
Now, what do you do after that, though?
Just get off fucking stage. Someone play back.
They should write a book called Bert Kreischer Exit Strategies.
Exit Strategies.
Well, those are awesome, man. Dude, thank you very much for coming on the show, man. You're fucking hilarious. This is one of the most fun podcasts I've ever had.
Me too.
And knowing that you enjoyed listening to it, now you're on it, and you probably made one of the best ones we've ever had.
I won't listen to this one, but I can't wait.
You can't tell the Tracy Morgan story.
I can tell it, yeah.
You can tell it?
Of course I can
Please tell the Tracy Morgan story.
Okay.
And we're going to end on this. Thanks to the Fleshlight. Go to joerogan.net, enter in the Fleshlight, the thing. It's like Rogan is the code name, and you get 15% off. I'm in February 4th. We're at the Mandalay Bay Theater. It's me, Joey Diaz, and Ari Shaffir. That's like a 3 headliner combo there. And then next weekend, not this one coming up, but next weekend I'm at the West Palm Beach Improv, the 28th, 29th, and 30th, and that is also with young and talented Ari Shaffir. So tell me what the fuck happened with Tracy Morgan.
Okay. I'll preface this. I want to be safe and preface this that my buddy Jay Moore does tell this on stage. We have an agreement. He's my friend. He's not a thief. Okay. I know that Jay is concerned about that, but he told me he's not telling the story anymore. And it did happen to me. So I don't give a, I mean, this is a true story.
So this is a true story.
It's a true story. So I was a young comic working at the Boston Comedy Club, working the door.
In New York.
In New York.
In the
Village. And I used to party with all the black comics because because I don't. Cause,
you like to.
Yeah. And so we used to have a good time. And so then one night Tracy Morgan comes in. This is when he's starting to get back into stand-up after SNL. So like when you were a young comic and a new celebrity came in, you like had to see that shit. Had to. So I go in and I watch Tracy's set, and it is not, we have nothing in common. He's doing observational material, and his observational material is like, all right, yeah, okay. Who remembers finger fucking by the handball courts? and I'm just like, and he thinks that's a shared experience, like losing a sock in the dryer.
Right.
But like everyone else, and then he walks you through it. He's like, you put that bitch up against the wall and just pussy pop that bitch. You wouldn't even kiss her. Put your arm in your own stank. And now you have a visualization of like Precious getting boxed out at a handball court, making eye contact with passerby, just getting her pussy blown out by Tracy Morgan.
Oh, God.
So, but then he comes on stage and he's like, fucking, yeah, I'll hit that, man. I got this new bit about my dick being so pretty out you can suck it with the lights on. Like, which is a genius statement because I've never had a blowjob in the light, but he just didn't word it right? So
my dick is so pretty you can suck it with the lights on.
yes. So then he goes, hey, you want to get high? And I was like, yeah. And because I'm a grown up. And so we walk around the corner and he pulls out this wreck of a joint, hands it to me, hits it, gives it to me. I hit it and it tastes like shit. It tastes like sweat socks. Like just like, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, you never smoked Sherm before? And I was like, what? And he's like, Sherm, baby. Angel dust, PCP. You never smoked Sherm before? And I'm like, you just gave me fucking PCP? Like, how did you know? Who ever taught you how to get high? Like,
oh my God.
So I panic bad, like hardcore anxiety attack. I go back to the club. I go to this older black comic who was and still is one of my good friends. And I go, hey man, Tracy just gave me PCP. He's like, oh, let me tell you something, shorty. Tracy doesn't smoke PCP. He's fucking with you. I was like, what? He's like, he's just smoking pot. He's fucking with you though. He's just getting in your head. And I was like, no, I smoke PCP. I'm feeling weird. And he goes, whatever you do, shorty, don't go to your house. You hang out with us tonight. So I'm like, all right. So I do my set. I bomb. We all go out. And Tracy is in downtown Soho, like right on Houston, right? And he's in a club that is like one of those railroad clubs where it goes all the way back. You have to like walk down a flight of 5 stairs to get to, and he's in the back. He's been there like 20 minutes, and he is holding court with his shirt off, okay? Shirt off, bottles of champagne covering his table. There's other tables that have champagne on it. He's buying it for them. I'll buy her a bottle of champagne right now. I got a pretty dick. Like just Eddie Murphy gave me this, whatever the fuck he's saying is like loud and boisterous. So I sit at the table and I think I'm on PCP, and I start ordering Heinekens separately from this wreck of a bar tab he has. And so I'm getting Heinekens, and then the whole night goes through. It's kind of an interesting, bizarre experience. But like 2 o'clock in the morning, and Tracy and the waitress comes up, and she's got the bill, and she puts it in front of me because I'm at a table with all black dudes. So she thinks I'm their agent or lawyer or coach, whatever I am. So she gives me the bill, and I see it, and I'm like, oh, I can't. And Tracy Morgan flips out, and he goes, oh, what the fuck is that? That's fucking racism. You give it to him, he works the goddamn door. He doesn't do, I ain't gonna make any money. I'm the rich motherfucker in here. I'm on TV. I'm the rich motherfucker. And he flips the bottle of champagne table upside down. Now the woman's like, sir. And he goes, hey, and he takes his shirt and throws it in her face. A bouncer comes up and he's like, excuse me, sir. And Tracy just wham, lays the guy. And the biggest fight I've ever been in just breaks out all over. People are fighting, jumping on, and I think I'm on PCP. So I walk out on Houston and I start going, this isn't happening. This is imaginary. This is not real. People are flooding out left and right. And they're like, dude, that shit's going off. Tracy's got like 4 dudes on him. And I was like, holy shit. A minute later, the doors kick open and Tracy Morgan is launched out of the club by the back of his neck and the seat of his pants, just up onto the street.
They put his shirt on him?
No, up on the street, shirtless, laying at my feet on the sidewalk. Doors closed. Second later, doors kick back open, and Tracy's shirt comes out end over end and lands on his head, and it's silent. And we're looking at Tracy like, fuck, this is crazy. All of a sudden, he looks up, stands up, takes his shirt, snaps it, and he goes, now that's how you get out of paying a check. This guy's crazy like a fox. He's he fucking just walked out on a $6,000 bar tab.
Holy shit.
Getting kicked out of the bar. But
He
yeah,
really did that? That's all.
That's awesome.
Did he ever have to pay for it? Whatever.
I have no idea. I mean, I never. Here's the thing. I only met Tracy once. That was. You don't hang out with a dude more than that.
Oh, I would never leave that guy's side. I would have to be hanging out with him every day. I would have to be hanging out with him all the time.
Yeah,
especially if I didn't have kids.
I was just like Jay used to tell. I was telling you, Jay used to tell that story that had happened to me when we do stand up. And man, like people would be like, "Get out of here!" But like I don't know Tracy, and I doubt he remembers the night at all.
Fuck.
And I'm like, and you know how stories go in your head when you start telling them a lot, then you like shorten it and tighten it and punch it.
Yeah.
And I've been telling that to comics for like 12 years, ever since that happened. And I was doing stand up for like 2 months.
That's hilarious. No, you weren't on PCP. You just thought you were.
I wasn't on. I don't know. I was
Probably strong weed.
probably strong weed. I doubt Tracy smokes PCP. I've heard him on NPR interviews say he's never done drugs. And I don't know.
He's never done drugs.
He said on NPR.
PCP is something that you would probably tell the person, even if you were a PCP user.
And I think here's the thing:
Not
is
if you're crazy.
Tracy's got that like, I would say that like prison mentality of like he'd rather fuck with you than really fuck you up.
Right.
Like I think he'd rather get in your head than like fuck you. I don't think he's a mean spirited person.
Right, he's just playing.
He was just playing with you, and then I'm the one white guy hanging out with all black comics, and so then that's funny that he thinks he's on PCP.
That's a great story.
But the best.
That's a fucking fantastic story, dude. That was one of the funniest stories ever.
Next time I'll tell you about when I was in the Russian mob and we robbed a train.
Really?
It's a true story, but I'm not going to tell it now.
Okay, dude, you're coming back again soon.
Definitely.
Folks, if you want to follow Bert on Twitter, it's BertKreischer. Follow him, please. One of the fucking funniest guys we've ever had on the show. Thank you very much, man. That was so much fun.
I had a blast.
And we will see you bitches on Tuesday. Holla at your boy.
Later.
Love you.